Forward. This little book is the outcome of personal reflection and experience. It does not aim to be a complete or exhaustive guide on the often discussed subject of the power of thought. Rather than offering a detailed explanation, the purpose of this book is to inspire and encourage both men and women to seek out and understand a simple yet profound truth. We are the creators of our own lives. Our thoughts, whether we realize it or not, shape who we are and the lives we live. The way we think is like a seed we plant, and what grows from that seed is our reality. If we choose thoughts that are positive, productive, and empowering, we will reap a life filled with purpose, growth, and fulfillment. On the other hand, if we allow negative, discouraging, or harmful thoughts to take root, our lives will reflect that negativity in the form of challenges, struggles, and a lack of joy. The mind is like a master weaver, creating two garments. The first is the inner garment, our character, who we are on the inside. The second is the outer garment, the circumstances of our lives, the things we experience in the world around us. Whether we know it or not, we are always weaving both of these garments. Every thought we think is like a thread in the fabric of our lives, contributing to the patterns that make up our character and our circumstances. The power of choice in our thoughts. Most people live without realizing just how much their thoughts influence their lives. Many weave their lives with threads of ignorance, fear, or frustration, unaware that they can change the pattern at any time. It's like having a blank canvas, but choosing colors that make you unhappy, simply because no one ever told you that you could pick new ones. But the truth is, we do have the power to change how we think, and with that power, we can transform our lives. Imagine a person who constantly thinks, "I'm not good enough." Over time, that thought shapes their self-image, leading to feelings of insecurity and a lack of confidence. As a result, they may miss opportunities or shy away from challenges because they've convinced themselves they can't succeed. But what if that same person starts thinking, "I am capable and I can learn and grow"? That simple shift in thinking can lead to actions that build confidence, help them overcome obstacles, and ultimately change the course of their life. Changing the pattern from pain to happiness. Many of us have, in the past, woven the fabric of our lives in ignorance and pain. We've allowed negative thoughts, worries, and doubts to guide our choices, leading to feelings of frustration, unhappiness, or dissatisfaction. But just as we may have woven our lives in ignorance before, we can now begin to weave with enlightenment and wisdom. This means understanding that every thought matters, and that we can choose to create a better life by choosing better thoughts. For example, someone who constantly worries about money might experience financial stress. Their thoughts are always centered around lack and fear of not having enough. But when they shift their thinking to focus on opportunities, abundance, and solutions, they begin to notice new ways to improve their financial situation. This shift doesn't happen overnight, but with practice, the pattern of their life begins to change from stress and struggle to security and abundance. Practical steps to take control of your thoughts. Taking control of your thoughts doesn't mean you will never have a negative thought again. It's natural for doubts and worries to arise, especially when life gets tough. However, the key is not to let those thoughts take control. Here are some practical steps to start weaving a more positive and fulfilling life. Number 1. Awareness. Pay attention to your thoughts. Are they helpful or harmful? Are they empowering or limiting? By becoming aware of what you're thinking, you can begin to identify patterns that might be holding you back. Number 2. Challenge negative thoughts. When you catch yourself thinking something negative like, "I can't do this," or "this will never work," pause for a moment. Ask yourself, is this really true? Often, you'll find that negative thoughts are based on fear or past experiences, not on reality. Number 3. Replace with positive thoughts. Once you've identified and challenged a negative thought, replace it with a more empowering one. For example, instead of "I can't do this," try thinking, "This is challenging, but I am capable of figuring it out." Over time, this practice will strengthen your ability to think more positively. Number 4. Visualization. Imagine the kind of life you want to create. Close your eyes and picture yourself living that life. What kind of person are you? What thoughts do you need to think to become that person? Visualization is a powerful tool that can help guide your thoughts toward the life you want to create. Number 5, gratitude. Focus on what you're grateful for. Gratitude shifts your mind from focusing on what's lacking to appreciating what you have. This simple shift can transform your mindset and open your eyes to the opportunities around you. The inner and outer garments, a reflection of thought. As we continue to practice these steps, we will notice a change not only in our inner world, our character, but also in our outer world, our circumstances. This is because the two are deeply connected. Our thoughts influence our actions, and our actions shape the reality we live in. Consider someone who always thinks positively about their health and takes care of their body by eating well and exercising regularly. Over time, their thoughts about health lead to actions that promote well-being, and they enjoy a healthier, more vibrant life. The same principle applies to every area of life: relationships, career, personal growth, and more. As we begin to understand the power of thought, we can start weaving a life filled with enlightenment, joy, and success. It's never too late to change the pattern of your life. Each new day gives you a fresh opportunity to choose better, more empowering thoughts and create a life that reflects the best version of yourself. Chapter 1. Thought and Character. The saying, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he," speaks to the core of who we are as individuals. This ancient wisdom tells us that our thoughts are not just fleeting ideas, but the very foundation of our character. Our thoughts shape every part of our lives, affecting not only how we see the world, but also the circumstances we find ourselves in. In essence, who we are is the direct result of what we consistently think about. It's important to recognize that our character is the sum of all the thoughts we have had over time. If we dwell on positive, uplifting ideas, we will likely become people who reflect those qualities: kind, patient, and loving. On the other hand, if our minds are filled with negativity, fear, or anger, it will be reflected in our behavior and overall character. Our inner life becomes the blueprint for the outer one. Thoughts are seeds of action. Just as a plant grows from a seed, all of our actions, whether good or bad, spring from the seeds of thought. Nothing we do is independent of what we first think. Even the actions that seem impulsive or unplanned have their roots in thoughts we have entertained, whether consciously or subconsciously. The more we think about something, the more likely it is to show up in our behavior. For example, consider someone who dreams of starting a business. That dream begins as a thought, a seed planted in their mind. Over time, as they nurture that thought by learning, planning, and preparing, it blossoms into the action of actually starting the business. On the other hand, a person who constantly worries about failure or doubt may find themselves paralyzed, unable to act on their dreams. The seed of doubt has grown into the inaction that holds them back. Even actions that seem spontaneous, like helping a stranger in need, stem from thoughts we've already had. A person who frequently thinks about kindness and generosity will naturally act on those thoughts, even without planning. Conversely, someone whose mind is focused on selfishness might walk past that same stranger without a second thought. The consequences of thought: joy and suffering. Our thoughts don't just stop at shaping our actions, they also determine the quality of our experiences. If thoughts are the seeds and actions the plants, then joy and suffering are the fruits. Just as a farmer reaps the harvest of the seeds he sows, we too gather the results of the thoughts we've planted in our minds. When we allow negative thoughts to dominate, such as jealousy, anger, or fear, we are planting seeds that will grow into negative experiences. This often leads to suffering, both for ourselves and those around us. For example, a person consumed by jealousy may find themselves constantly unhappy, even when surrounded by good things. Their thoughts poison their experience, making it difficult to feel joy. In contrast, when we focus on thoughts of love, gratitude, and hope, we are nurturing a garden of positive experiences. Joy becomes a natural outcome, following us like a shadow wherever we go. This is not to say that life will always be easy, but when we approach challenges with a positive mindset, we are more resilient and better able to find happiness even in difficult times. The power of positive and negative thought. Let's consider two scenarios. In the first, a person constantly dwells on negative outcomes. They wake up thinking about what could go wrong at work, anticipate conflict with others, and focus on their perceived failures. Over time, these thoughts create a self-fulfilling prophecy. They start to see more problems, conflicts arise more easily, and they feel stuck in a cycle of frustration. Now imagine a different person who makes an effort to focus on the positive. They wake up and think about what they're grateful for. Look for opportunities to grow and see setbacks as learning experiences. Over time, their thoughts create a different reality, one where they are open to joy, growth, and improvement. These two examples show how powerful our thoughts are in shaping our lives. We can choose to focus on the negative, creating a reality filled with suffering, or we can choose to cultivate positive thoughts, opening ourselves up to joy and fulfillment, building a strong character through thought. Character is often seen as something we are born with, but the truth is that it is built over time. Every thought we entertain contributes to the person we become. If we want to build strong character, we must start by controlling our thoughts. Just as a builder uses tools and materials to construct a house, we use our thoughts to build the structure of our character. For example, a person who consistently thinks about honesty and integrity will become someone who values truth. Over time, these thoughts will shape their actions, and they will be known as a person of strong moral character. Similarly, someone who constantly thinks about compassion will become more empathetic and kind in their interactions with others. On the flip side, if a person allows thoughts of dishonesty or greed to dominate, those thoughts will influence their actions. They may start to justify small acts of dishonesty, which can grow into larger acts of unethical behavior over time. This highlights the importance of guarding our thoughts carefully, as they have the power to either strengthen or weaken our character. Practical steps to cultivate positive thought. To take control of our thoughts and build a stronger character, we need to be intentional. Here are a few practical steps to help cultivate positive thoughts. Number 1. Mindfulness. Practice being aware of your thoughts throughout the day. When you notice negative or harmful thoughts, don't dwell on them. Acknowledge them and replace them with positive, constructive ones. For example, if you catch yourself thinking, "I'm not good enough," pause and replace it with, "I'm learning and growing every day." Number 2. Gratitude journaling. Take a few minutes each day to write down things you are grateful for. This simple practice shifts your focus from what's wrong to what's right in your life, fostering positive thinking. For instance, after a stressful day at work, instead of dwelling on the stress, write down 3 things that went well, or something you learned. Number 3. Surround yourself with positivity. The people we spend time with and the environments we are in influence our thoughts. Surround yourself with positive influences, whether it's uplifting friends, books, or media that inspire you to think better. Number 4. Affirmations. Use affirmations to reinforce positive thoughts. Affirmations are simple, powerful statements that you repeat to yourself to create a positive mindset. Examples include, "I am capable, I am worthy, and I can achieve my goals." The ripple effect of thought. Our thoughts don't just impact us, they also affect those around us. When we cultivate positive thoughts, they ripple outwards, influencing our relationships and communities. A person who consistently thinks about kindness, for example, will naturally act in kind ways toward others. This creates a ripple effect, as others are inspired by that kindness and pay it forward. Consider the example of a parent who models positive thinking for their children. If they focus on gratitude, resilience, and compassion, their children are likely to adopt those same ways of thinking. This not only benefits the family, but can extend to the broader community, as the children grow up to be positive influences on others. In contrast, negative thoughts can also spread. A person who consistently harbors anger or resentment may create tension in their relationships, affecting not only themselves but those around them. This underscores the importance of taking responsibility for our thoughts, not just for our own sake, but for the well-being of others. The mind as a garden. Think of your mind as a garden, and your thoughts as the seeds. Whatever you plant in the garden of your mind will grow. If you plant seeds of positivity, love, and gratitude, your life will flourish with joy and fulfillment. But if you allow negative thoughts like weeds to take over, they will choke out the good, leaving you with suffering and hardship. Just as a gardener must be intentional about what they plant and how they tend to their garden, we must be intentional about the thoughts we cultivate. By choosing to focus on positive, constructive thoughts, we can shape our character and ultimately our lives. We have the power to choose our thoughts, and by doing so, we choose the kind of person we want to become. Man's growth by law and the power of thought. Human beings are not products of random acts or mere chance. We grow, develop, and evolve according to the laws that govern our minds and actions. Just as the laws of nature govern the physical world with certainty, cause and effect, we are also bound by laws in the realm of thought. The outcomes of our lives, our character, and the situations we find ourselves in are the result of the thoughts we continuously cultivate. This cause and effect are as unbreakable in our inner world of thoughts as it is in the outer world of material objects. When we observe nature, we see that everything operates according to a predictable system. The seasons change, plants grow from seeds, and every living thing evolves according to the principles that sustain life. In the same way, our mental and spiritual growth is not random or based on artificial circumstances. A person with a noble, virtuous, and godlike character doesn't become that way by accident. Such a character is the result of consistent effort over time, an effort centered around thinking rightly and aligning oneself with uplifting, godly thoughts. On the other hand, if we dwell on negative, degrading, and selfish thoughts, the result will inevitably be a poor and corrupt character. It is much like a garden. If we carefully plant seeds, water them, and tend to them with care, we will see beautiful flowers and healthy plants. But if we neglect the garden and let weeds take over, it will become overgrown and unsightly. The same process occurs in the mind. Good thoughts lead to good outcomes, while bad thoughts lead to harmful consequences. We shape our own lives. Human beings are not victims of circumstance. We are, to a large degree, creators of our own lives. The thoughts we entertain and the choices we make determine who we become. We can build ourselves up or tear ourselves down, and it all begins in the mind. In the armory of our thoughts, we forge weapons, both for destruction and for construction. For example, when we constantly think in negative, harmful, or selfish ways, we are essentially creating the weapons that will destroy us. Negative thinking leads to harmful behaviors, bad decisions, and a life full of regret and pain. On the other hand, positive, constructive thoughts help us shape tools that build strength, peace, and joy in our lives. Just like a blacksmith forges swords from metal, we create tools for our life's path with every thought we think. Think about people you admire. Perhaps it's a historical figure known for their bravery and wisdom, or maybe it's someone in your personal life who radiates kindness, patience, and understanding. These individuals didn't become the way they are by accident. Their character was shaped by the thoughts they continually nurtured. Their inner world of thought created their outer world of actions and behaviors. The law of divine perfection. As humans, we are capable of ascending to divine levels of perfection. This doesn't mean perfection in the sense that we are flawless, but rather we can grow and align ourselves with virtues like compassion, wisdom, integrity, and love. By choosing the right thoughts and applying them in our lives, we begin to reflect more and more of these divine qualities. The Bible teaches us to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Romans 12 verse 2, emphasizing that the transformation of our lives begins with the transformation of our thoughts. The abuse or misapplication of thought, however, has the opposite effect. It drags us down to levels lower than what we were meant for. When we let harmful, selfish, or hateful thoughts control our minds, we become less than what we were created to be. It's like descending below the level of animals, as our human potential is wasted in self-destructive tendencies. In between these two extremes of godlike perfection and degradation are all the levels of human character. We may know people who exhibit certain virtues, but struggle in other areas, or those who are generally good, but fall short in moments of weakness. This variation in character is a reflection of the different thoughts and attitudes that each person has chosen to cultivate over time. The power to choose. One of the greatest truths we can embrace is that we have the power to choose our thoughts. This may seem simple, but it holds profound implications. We are not at the mercy of external forces when it comes to shaping our minds and our lives. We can take control and direct our thoughts toward positive, life-giving directions. Many people feel powerless in life, believing that their circumstances are out of their control. But when we recognize that our thoughts are the seeds from which our future grows, we realize that we have much more power than we initially thought. The world around us may present challenges, obstacles, and trials, but our response to these challenges is determined by how we think. It is in our thoughts that we begin to build the kind of life we desire. For example, take two individuals who face the same difficult situation, perhaps a job loss or personal failure. One person may dwell on feelings of defeat and hopelessness, convincing themselves that they are a failure and that things will never get better. This thought pattern leads to despair and inaction, often worsening their situation. Another person may choose to see the same difficulty as an opportunity for growth and learning. They may think, this is a chance to try something new and discover my strengths. This mindset leads to motivation, positive action, and eventually, a better outcome. In both cases, the situation was the same, but the outcomes were drastically different because of how each person chose to think, shaping our environment and destiny. Not only do our thoughts shape our character, but they also have a direct impact on our environment and the situations we encounter in life. While it's true that we cannot control every external factor, we have a far greater influence over our surroundings than we often realize. The thoughts we nurture eventually lead to actions, and our actions shape the world around us. For instance, a person who thinks consistently about generosity, kindness, and serving others is likely to create an environment of love, cooperation, and trust around them. Their thoughts lead them to act in ways that encourage positive relationships and opportunities. On the other hand, a person who harbors thoughts of greed, jealousy, and selfishness will likely find themselves surrounded by conflict, mistrust, and disappointment. This principle can also be seen in our goals and aspirations. Someone who believes in their ability to succeed and takes consistent action toward their dreams is much more likely to achieve them than someone who constantly doubts themselves and never takes the necessary steps. Our thoughts set the course for our lives, whether we realize it or not. Practical steps to mastering thought. Recognizing the power of thought is one thing, but putting it into practice is quite another. Many people struggle with negative thinking, self-doubt, or harmful habits that seem too ingrained to overcome. However, with conscious effort and consistent practice, anyone can begin to master their thoughts and create a life of purpose and joy. Number 1. Self-awareness. The first step in mastering your thoughts is becoming aware of what you're thinking. Many of us go through life on autopilot, unaware of the patterns of thought that dominate our minds. Take time each day to reflect on your thoughts. Are they primarily positive or negative? Do they build you up or tear you down? Number 2. Choosing empowering thoughts. Once you're aware of your thoughts, begin to actively choose ones that empower and uplift you. When you catch yourself thinking negatively, pause and ask yourself if this thought is serving you. If it's not, replace it with a thought that is more aligned with who you want to become. Number 3. Practice gratitude. One of the most effective ways to shift your thoughts is by practicing gratitude. When you focus on what you are thankful for, it becomes difficult to dwell on negative thoughts. Gratitude opens the mind to possibilities and abundance. Number 4. Surround yourself with positive influences. The people and environments we immerse ourselves in can significantly influence our thinking. Choose to be around individuals who inspire, challenge, and uplift you. Spend time in places that make you feel peaceful and energized. Number 5. Meditation and prayer. Taking time to meditate or pray allows you to quiet your mind and focus on higher thoughts. It helps you detach from the busyness of life and align your mind with spiritual truths and divine guidance. Number 6. Consistency is key. Just like physical exercise strengthens the body, mental and spiritual exercise strengthens the mind. Commit to regular practice in managing your thoughts. Over time, you will notice a shift in how you approach life and its challenges. In essence, the human mind is a powerful force, and we hold within it the capacity to shape our character, our environment, and our destiny. We are not passive victims of life, but active participants in creating the world we experience. Through the careful cultivation of our thoughts, we can rise to divine heights or descend into destructive patterns. The choice is ours. In every moment, we are making decisions about the kinds of thoughts we will hold in our minds. These thoughts will either elevate us toward our potential or drag us down into mediocrity. Recognizing this truth and embracing it is the first step toward a life of purpose, fulfillment, and divine alignment. As a being endowed with power, intelligence, and love, man possesses the ability to shape his life through the thoughts he chooses to embrace and cultivate. Within each person lies the potential to transform their circumstances, habits, and character. This transformative power is not something external. It exists within every individual. Man holds the key to his future and has the ability to direct the course of his life by mastering his thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes. No matter the situation or challenge, he contains within himself the force that can bring about positive change. However, many people are unaware of this immense power they possess. Even when a person finds themselves in moments of weakness or difficulty, they are still, in essence, the master of their lives. In these weaker states, they may govern their life poorly, allowing negative or harmful thoughts to take control. They become, in a sense, a foolish master, mismanaging their internal world, allowing fears, doubts, or destructive habits to rule over them. But there comes a turning point. At some point, many individuals begin to reflect on their circumstances. They start to question why they feel stuck, why they are struggling, and whether they have any control over their outcomes. This stage is critical because it marks the beginning of self-awareness. It is the moment when a person decides to search for the underlying principles or laws that govern their life and being. With enough desire and determination, this reflective state pushes them to become a wise master. Becoming the wise master. To become a wise master of oneself, a person must first recognize that their thoughts are the foundation of their experiences. Everything that happens in life, successes, failures, relationships, and even health, can often be traced back to the thoughts they consistently entertain. The discovery that thoughts shape reality is the cornerstone of this transformation. But merely recognizing this truth is not enough. It requires persistent application, self-examination, and life experience. Think of it like learning a new skill. Just as an athlete must train daily to improve their abilities, a person must also train their mind. An athlete who hopes to excel must study the techniques of their sport, practice endlessly, and learn from mistakes. Similarly, mastering one's thoughts involves observation, correction, and repeated effort. This journey is one of patience, persistence, and self-discipline. One of the best examples of this can be seen in the lives of individuals who have overcome significant adversity. Many successful people, whether in business, sports, or the arts, have faced hardships and challenges that could have easily defeated them. What sets them apart is their ability to harness the power of their thoughts. They learn to replace self-doubt with confidence, fear with courage, and hopelessness with determination. In doing so, they transformed their circumstances and rose to new heights, searching within, the inner journey. Just as precious resources like gold and diamonds are found deep within the earth, the truths about ourselves are found deep within our minds and souls. It requires effort and dedication to unearth these truths. The mind, much like a mine, holds vast treasures, but they can only be discovered through diligent work. An example of this inner search can be seen in someone who decides to change their outlook on life. Let's say a person who has always been pessimistic and filled with self-doubt starts to question why they feel this way. They begin by examining the root causes of their negativity. Perhaps it stems from past failures, childhood experiences, or the influence of others. As they dig deeper, they realize that these thoughts have been shaping their life in many ways, leading to missed opportunities and unhappiness. By recognizing these patterns, the individual can begin the process of change. They start by actively replacing negative thoughts with positive ones. Over time, this shift in thinking begins to reflect in their outer life. Their relationships improve, they attract new opportunities, and they feel a greater sense of purpose. This process takes time, but with consistent effort, the person experiences a profound transformation. The power of thoughts, building character and destiny. It is a well-known truth that thoughts shape character. The thoughts we consistently entertain influence our actions, and our actions form our character. Over time, our character influences the course of our life, shaping our destiny. Therefore, a person who is determined to improve their life must begin by improving their thoughts. Let's take the example of two individuals with similar backgrounds but different mindsets. One person constantly dwells on negative thoughts, self-pity, fear, and resentment. The other chooses to focus on positive, constructive thoughts, gratitude, hope, and perseverance. Over time, the first person becomes bitter, withdrawn, and unhappy. They see life as unfair and feel powerless to change their circumstances. The second person, on the other hand, becomes resilient, optimistic, and motivated. They may face the same challenges as the first person, but their outlook allows them to overcome obstacles and find solutions. These two people, though they started in similar situations, end up in vastly different places. The first person, consumed by negativity, may find themselves trapped in a cycle of failure and disappointment. The second person, guided by positive thinking, creates a life filled with opportunities and success. The key difference between them lies in their thoughts. By watching, controlling, and altering our thoughts, we can take charge of our lives. Every thought we think sends ripples through our lives, affecting not only ourselves but also those around us. Consider how a simple act of kindness, which begins as a thought, can uplift someone's day. On the other hand, a moment of anger, if left unchecked, can harm relationships or cause unnecessary stress. Linking cause and effect. The principle of cause and effect is one of the most fundamental laws governing life. Every action we take has a corresponding effect, just as every thought we think influences our reality. Understanding this connection allows us to take greater responsibility for our lives. If we want to change the effect, our circumstances, we must first change the cause, our thoughts and actions. For instance, imagine a person who constantly complains about their job. They feel undervalued, stressed, and unhappy. Every day, they go to work with a negative mindset, and as a result, their performance suffers. Their relationships with coworkers deteriorate and their stress levels increase. The root cause of their unhappiness lies not in the job itself, but in their thoughts and attitude toward it. By changing their perspective, focusing on gratitude for having a job, seeking ways to improve their skills, and finding purpose in their work, they can alter the entire situation. Their renewed mindset leads to better performance, improved relationships, and a more positive work environment. Another example is found in relationships. If someone continually harbors feelings of resentment toward another person, their interactions will be strained. The resentment, which started as a thought, grows into negative actions, perhaps in the form of hurtful words or passive-aggressive behavior. But if that person chooses to let go of resentment and replace it with forgiveness and understanding, the relationship can heal and flourish. Utilizing every experience for growth. One of the most empowering realizations is that every experience, good or bad, can be used as a stepping stone for growth. Life presents countless opportunities for learning and self-improvement, but it is up to each individual to recognize and seize them. Consider a person who faces repeated setbacks in their career. They could choose to see these setbacks as failures and give up, or they could view them as valuable lessons. By analyzing what went wrong, they can adjust their approach and try again with a new strategy. Each failure, when viewed from the right perspective, becomes a lesson that brings them closer to success. Even seemingly trivial, everyday occurrences can offer valuable insights. A chance conversation, a challenging task, or a moment of reflection can all contribute to a deeper understanding of oneself. The key is to remain open to learning from every situation and to use each experience as an opportunity for growth. The law of persistence: seek and you shall find. The journey to mastering one's thoughts in life is not an easy one. It requires persistence, dedication, and a willingness to keep going, even in the face of obstacles. Just as a miner must dig deep to find gold, a person must persistently seek self-knowledge and wisdom. The more they seek, the more they will find. The more they knock on the door of self-discovery, the more it will open. One of the greatest rewards of this journey is the development of inner strength and resilience. A person who learns to master their thoughts becomes unshakable. They are no longer easily swayed by external circumstances because they understand that their true power lies within. This inner strength allows them to face life's challenges with confidence and grace. In conclusion, the power to shape our lives lies within each of us. By mastering our thoughts, we can become the architects of our character, the shapers of our destiny, and the builders of our future. This journey requires effort, patience, and persistence, but the rewards are immeasurable. Every thought is a seed that, when nurtured, can blossom into a life of fulfillment, purpose, and joy. So, let us commit to becoming wise masters of ourselves, diligently seeking self-knowledge, and using every experience as a tool for growth. Only then will we unlock the full potential that resides within us. Chapter 2. The impact of thought on circumstances. A person's mind is like a garden, which can either be cultivated with care or left untended to grow wild. Regardless of whether it is cared for or neglected, the mind will always produce something. If no positive, beneficial thoughts are planted and nurtured, harmful and unproductive thoughts, like weeds, will inevitably take root and flourish. Just as a gardener works hard to maintain their garden, removing weeds and growing flowers or fruits they desire, a person must take the same care in tending to their mind. They need to weed out harmful, negative, or impure thoughts and focus on cultivating thoughts that are good, pure, and useful. Over time, by following this approach, individuals realize they are in control of their minds, becoming the master gardener of their souls. They understand that their thoughts have the power to shape their lives, including their character and their circumstances. Thoughts and character are deeply interconnected, and a person's character often reveals itself through their circumstances. The external conditions of someone's life will always be closely tied to their inner state. However, this doesn't mean that a person's circumstances reflect their entire character. Rather, they reflect certain aspects of it. These circumstances arise from the thoughts they harbor and are essential to their personal growth at that particular moment. Cultivating the mind as a garden. To better understand the effect of thought on circumstances, let's dive deeper into the idea of the mind as a garden. Imagine a garden left unattended. Weeds will soon take over, suffocating the beauty of any flowers or fruits that may have been there. In the same way, if a person doesn't make a conscious effort to tend to their mind, harmful thoughts, like doubt, fear, anger, or envy, will dominate, affecting every area of life. On the other hand, with careful cultivation, a garden can become a place of beauty and abundance. Similarly, when someone intentionally chooses positive, constructive, and uplifting thoughts, their mind becomes fertile ground for growth, productivity, and happiness. This act of mental cultivation is an ongoing process. A gardener doesn't tend to the garden just once and expect it to remain perfect. It takes continuous effort, just as the mind requires constant attention to thrive. This analogy reminds us that we are responsible for what grows in our minds. If we allow negativity to persist, it will have a direct impact on our circumstances. Conversely, if we nurture positive, hopeful, and purposeful thoughts, they will shape our lives in a positive direction. The law of cause and effect in thought. The law of cause and effect applies not just to physical actions, but also to thoughts. Just as a seed planted in soil will eventually grow and produce fruit, thoughts sown in the mind will eventually manifest as actions, behaviors, and circumstances. Positive, constructive thoughts will yield positive outcomes, while negative thoughts will lead to undesirable consequences. For instance, someone who constantly thinks about failure and lacks self-confidence may find themselves trapped in situations that reinforce those beliefs. Their circumstances seem to mirror their inner doubts and insecurities. On the other hand, a person who holds on to thoughts of success, confidence, and perseverance will often see opportunities arise that align with those thoughts. Their external environment begins to reflect their internal state. It's important to note that this process isn't always immediate. Just as seeds take time to grow into plants, thoughts take time to shape circumstances. It's easy to become discouraged when changes don't happen right away, but with patience and persistence, the right thoughts will eventually bear fruit. thought patterns and their long-term effects. The thoughts we repeatedly focus on create patterns in our minds. These patterns, or habitual ways of thinking, form our beliefs and influence how we interpret the world around us. For example, if someone constantly worries about financial instability, their mind becomes wired to look for signs of lack and limitation. Even if they are in a situation where their needs are met, their thought patterns may create stress and anxiety over money. In contrast, someone who focuses on abundance and gratitude will find reasons to feel content, even in challenging times. They may face the same external circumstances as someone with a negative mindset, but their interpretation and emotional response will be different. Over time, these thought patterns become self-fulfilling prophecies. The person with a mindset of scarcity may experience financial hardship, while the person who believes in abundance may attract greater opportunities for wealth. To break free from negative thought patterns, we must first become aware of them. This awareness allows us to consciously choose more positive, empowering thoughts. Over time, new thought patterns will replace the old ones, leading to better outcomes and a more fulfilling life. Examples of the effect of thought on circumstances. One famous example of the effect of thought on circumstances is the life of Thomas Edison. Despite facing numerous failures while trying to invent the light bulb, he maintained a mindset of persistence and optimism. Edison is often quoted as saying, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His unwavering belief in success, despite his many setbacks, eventually led to one of the most important inventions in history. Had he allowed negative thoughts to dominate his mind, he might have given up long before achieving his goal. Another example can be seen in athletes who use the power of positive thinking to enhance their performance. Many top athletes practice visualization, mentally rehearsing their success before competing. By focusing on thoughts of victory and achievement, they are able to improve their physical performance and overcome obstacles. These examples highlight the profound impact that thought can have on circumstances. By controlling our thoughts, we can influence the course of our lives in powerful ways. Taking control of your thoughts. Taking control of our thoughts is not always easy, but it is essential for shaping our circumstances. One practical step is to engage in mindfulness or meditation, practices that help us become more aware of our thoughts and direct them in a positive direction. By setting aside time each day to reflect on our mental state, we can weed out negative or harmful thoughts and replace them with thoughts that serve our goals and aspirations. Another approach is to practice gratitude. When we focus on the things we are grateful for, we shift our attention away from negativity and toward positivity. Gratitude helps us see the good in our circumstances, even when life is challenging. This shift in perspective can have a profound impact on our overall outlook and ultimately on our external circumstances. Setting clear goals and affirming them daily can also help. When we consistently remind ourselves of what we want to achieve, we strengthen our resolve and keep our minds focused on positive outcomes. The effect of thought on circumstances is undeniable. Just like a garden, the mind will produce whatever is planted in it. Negative, destructive thoughts will lead to negative outcomes, while positive, constructive thoughts will yield positive results. By actively cultivating our minds and taking control of our thoughts, we become the master gardeners of our souls, shaping our character, our circumstances, and our destiny. The power to change our lives lies within us, in the thoughts we choose to entertain and nurture. With conscious effort, we can transform our thoughts and, in turn, transform our circumstances for the better. Every person is exactly where they are in life due to the laws that govern their thoughts and actions. The thoughts that a person has cultivated over time shape their character, and this, in turn, leads them to their current situation. Nothing happens by chance in a person's life. Everything unfolds according to a natural law that never fails. This truth applies equally to those who feel uncomfortable or dissatisfied with their life circumstances as it does to those who are content and at peace. The role of personal growth. As human beings, we are designed to grow and evolve. Life places us in specific circumstances to teach us lessons we need to learn. These lessons are meant to help us grow spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. Once we understand and learn the lesson contained in a particular situation, that situation fades away and is replaced by new circumstances that offer fresh opportunities for growth. For example, consider someone who constantly finds themselves in difficult relationships. At first, they may blame others or feel that life is unfair. However, when they start to reflect on their role in these relationships, they may realize that they have certain patterns of behavior. Perhaps they struggle with communication or have low self-esteem. Once they start working on these areas, they might notice their relationships begin to change. As they grow and learn from their experiences, the difficult relationships may gradually be replaced by healthier ones. Mastering circumstances through thought. Many people feel like victims of their circumstances, believing that life just happens to them. They feel as though they are pushed around by external forces, unable to control their destiny. This is a common belief, but it stems from not understanding the power of their own thoughts. When a person realizes that their inner thoughts and beliefs create their external circumstances, everything changes. They begin to see that they are not just passive observers in life, but active creators of their experiences. Just as a gardener plants seeds and tends to the soil to produce a healthy garden, individuals can cultivate their thoughts and mindset to shape their life. Once a person realizes this, they become the master of their life, no longer feeling powerless in the face of challenges. Let's consider an example. A person who is constantly stressed about money. They may feel like they will never have enough, and this fear drives their thoughts and decisions. Over time, this creates a cycle of scarcity, where no matter how much money they earn, they always feel like it's not enough. But once they start changing their thoughts, believing that they can create financial abundance, being grateful for what they have, and making decisions from a place of trust rather than fear, they might notice opportunities for financial growth starting to appear. Perhaps they get a better job offer, or they find new ways to manage their money more effectively. As their mindset shifts, their financial circumstances follow. The law of thought and circumstance. The relationship between thought and circumstance becomes clear to anyone who has practiced self-discipline or tried to improve themselves. When someone works on changing their thoughts, they soon notice that their outer life starts to change as well. The circumstances a person faces are a direct reflection of their inner world. When they work on improving their character by developing qualities like patience, kindness, or perseverance, their external conditions naturally begin to change in alignment with their inner growth. For instance, imagine a person who is quick to anger and frequently finds themselves in conflicts with others. Over time, they might decide to work on their temper, practicing patience and mindfulness. As they become more peaceful inside, they'll likely notice that their relationships with others improve. Conflicts that once seemed unavoidable may no longer occur, or they may be resolved more quickly. The external changes in their relationships are a direct result of their internal transformation. The power of self-reflection and growth. A person who genuinely dedicates themselves to self-improvement will see rapid changes in their life. As they work on fixing flaws in their character, they will go through many changes in their external circumstances. This happens because the law of thought and circumstance is always at work. When a person changes their internal world, the outer world must change to reflect that. For example, someone who has been struggling in their career might start to examine their thoughts about work. Perhaps they realize that deep down, they don't believe they are capable of success, or that they have been afraid to take risks. As they work on these beliefs, by developing self-confidence, taking calculated risks, and setting clearer goals, they might find that their career starts to improve. They may get promotions, find new job opportunities, or even start their own business. The outer changes come as a result of their inner growth. Learning from challenges. It's important to understand that challenges and difficulties are not meant to punish us, but to help us grow. Every difficult situation holds a lesson, and once we learn that lesson, the difficulty usually disappears. When we stop seeing ourselves as victims and start viewing challenges as opportunities for growth, we shift our mindset. This shift is crucial, because it allows us to face difficulties with courage and optimism, knowing that we are being guided toward greater wisdom and strength. Take the example of someone who faces repeated failures in business. Instead of giving up, they decide to analyze their approach, learn from their mistakes, and improve their strategy. Over time, they might learn important lessons about resilience, innovation, and customer relations. Eventually, these lessons lead them to success. If they had not faced those initial failures, they wouldn't have developed the skills and mindset needed to succeed later on. Applying the law of thought to everyday life. The law that governs thought and circumstance can be applied to any area of life: relationships, career, health, finances, or personal development. By taking control of our thoughts, we can influence the outcomes we experience. The key is to be aware of our thoughts, consistently work on improving them, and trust that the outer world will reflect the changes we make internally. For example, if someone wants to improve their health, they might start by changing their thoughts about their body. Instead of focusing on illness or feeling frustrated with their appearance, they could cultivate thoughts of gratitude for their health, visualize themselves as strong and energetic, and take small, positive actions toward better health. As they do this, they may notice that their energy levels improve, they make healthier choices, and their overall well-being increases. The soul's hidden power, what it attracts and creates. The soul quietly attracts the things it holds dear, whether it is something it loves or fears. It brings to itself the circumstances that align with its innermost thoughts and emotions. If the soul clings to lofty aspirations, it will eventually rise to that height. On the other hand, if it harbors unrefined desires, it will sink to their level. Circumstances are not mere coincidences. They are the tools through which the soul receives what it has nurtured within. Every thought that enters the mind is like a seed. If it is allowed to stay, it takes root and grows, producing results in our lives, whether good or bad. For instance, a person who constantly thinks about kindness will eventually act kindly and attract kindness in return. Conversely, a person who harbors negative, harmful thoughts will find themselves surrounded by negativity. These thoughts eventually blossom into actions, and those actions bear fruit, which shape the opportunities and circumstances in a person's life. This concept can be seen in daily experiences. When we are filled with positive energy and thoughts, we tend to see more good things happening around us. But when we allow negative thoughts to dominate, problems and challenges seem to multiply. The circumstances of our outer world reflect the thoughts we entertain in our inner world. Even the hardships and challenges we face play a role in helping us grow as individuals. Whether we go through joy or suffering, both serve as learning experiences. In this way, a person reaps the harvest of their thoughts. For example, a student who consistently believes in their ability to succeed and works diligently will often achieve academic success. On the other hand, a person who constantly believes they are not smart enough or destined to fail may give up too easily, leading to poor results. By following the deepest desires, thoughts, and aspirations that dominate our minds, we eventually manifest those very things in our external life. It's like walking on a path. If you follow a path that leads to high and noble goals, you will arrive at a destination filled with achievement and fulfillment. However, if you wander along a road filled with unworthy thoughts and unwholesome imaginations, you will find yourself in less desirable circumstances. Take, for instance, a person who dreams of starting their own business. If they feed their mind with positive thoughts, discipline, and a strong work ethic, they will slowly move towards success. But if they allow themselves to be controlled by doubt and laziness, failure becomes more likely. The laws of growth and adjustment are always at work. Just as a tree grows stronger over time, adjusting to the conditions around it, so too do our lives adjust according to the thoughts and desires we hold on to. This growth can be positive, leading us to greater happiness, or it can be negative, pulling us into deeper struggles. For example, someone who consistently works on self-improvement, practices gratitude, and maintains a hopeful outlook on life will experience growth and attract favorable circumstances over time. But someone who focuses on anger, resentment, or fear will find that their life adjusts to mirror those negative emotions. A person does not end up in poverty or prison purely because of bad luck or the tyranny of circumstance. Instead, it is the result of allowing low, degrading thoughts to guide their actions. For instance, if someone constantly entertains thoughts of cheating others or cutting corners, over time, those thoughts will lead to actions that might land them in serious trouble. On the other hand, a person who focuses on uplifting thoughts, such as helping others or being honest, will gradually shape a life filled with good opportunities. Similarly, a pure-minded person does not fall into crime or disgrace by a sudden turn of events. Criminal acts or moral failings are often the result of negative thoughts that have been secretly nurtured over time. When the right opportunity arises, these thoughts reveal themselves in harmful actions. An example might be someone who outwardly appears honest, but secretly covets other people's possessions. Over time, that desire may lead them to steal when the opportunity presents itself. Circumstances do not create a person, they merely reveal what is already inside. A person's inner thoughts and desires are reflected in the life they live. It's impossible to fall into bad habits like addiction or vice without first nurturing harmful thoughts. Likewise, it is impossible to rise into a life of virtue and happiness without constantly cultivating good thoughts and aspirations. A person who dreams of becoming a better, more virtuous person must continuously nurture those dreams with positive actions and habits. This is why it is often said that we are the creators of our own destiny. As the master of our thoughts, we have the power to shape our lives and the environment we live in. From the moment we are born, our souls carry with them the tendencies and desires that attract certain circumstances. Throughout our lives, we continue to draw conditions to ourselves that reflect our inner state. These conditions reveal our strengths and weaknesses, our purity and impurity. For example, if a person constantly thinks about success and works towards it, they are likely to attract opportunities for success into their life. On the other hand, if someone is always thinking about failure or is consumed by fear, they may unknowingly create situations that lead to failure. This is why mindset is so important. People who practice positive thinking, who believe in their abilities and work towards their goals, often find that life seems to support them. They encounter fewer obstacles, and when they do face challenges, they are better equipped to overcome them. On the contrary, someone who focuses on negative thoughts and allows fear or doubt to dominate their mind may find themselves struggling more often. It's not that life is harder for them by chance, but their thoughts create a negative atmosphere that makes every problem seem more difficult. A simple example could be seen in relationships. A person who constantly expects others to treat them poorly might, without realizing it, push people away or act in ways that cause others to respond negatively. In contrast, a person who expects kindness and trust from others may attract more supportive and loving relationships. The soul, in this sense, acts like a magnet. It pulls towards itself the things that are in harmony with its most deeply held beliefs and desires. If you want to change the outer circumstances of your life, the first step is to change the thoughts you hold within. Think of a person who dreams of being healthy but constantly eats unhealthy food and avoids exercise. Their outer circumstances, poor health, reflect their inner state of not prioritizing wellness. But if that person starts to focus on thoughts of health, making small changes like eating better and exercising, their outer circumstances will gradually change to match their inner focus on health. Men do not attract what they desire, but rather what they embody. It is not their passing desires, whims, or ambitions that shape their lives, but the deep-rooted thoughts and attitudes they hold within. Even when they struggle to achieve their goals, their innermost beliefs and desires, whether they are pure or corrupt, are continuously nurtured and reflected back into their lives. The phrase, "the divinity that shapes our ends," suggests that the true force guiding our lives comes from within ourselves, from our very own being. We are responsible for our own limitations, as our thoughts and actions determine our outcomes. If our thoughts are negative or selfish, they will imprison us. However, if they are noble and good, they will set us free. A man does not receive what he wishes or prays for unless his inner life, his thoughts and actions, align with those desires. Only when his mindset and behaviors match his prayers will he earn the blessings he seeks. When we consider this truth, we can better understand what it means to fight against circumstances. Many people mistakenly believe that external situations are to blame for their struggles. They resist and fight against the outcomes they experience in life. Yet they often fail to realize that these external circumstances are simply reflections of the inner causes they nurture within their hearts. Whether it's a conscious vice like selfishness or an unconscious weakness such as fear or insecurity, these internal factors directly influence a person's life. As long as a person harbors these negative thoughts or behaviors, they will continue to face resistance and struggle in achieving their goals. It becomes clear that to overcome difficult circumstances, one must first address and remedy the root cause within. Take, for example, someone who constantly faces financial difficulties. They may feel that the world is unfair or that external factors are responsible for their situation. However, if they examine their mindset, they may find that they have deep-seated beliefs about scarcity or unworthiness. Perhaps they fear failure, avoid taking risks, or lack the discipline to manage their finances properly. These internal beliefs and behaviors act as barriers, preventing them from achieving financial stability. Simply wishing for more money or praying for financial relief will not solve the problem. They must change their mindset and develop new habits that align with their financial goals. Another example could be a person struggling with relationships. They may feel that they are unlucky in love, constantly attracting the wrong partners, or facing conflict in their relationships. However, upon closer examination, they might realize that they hold negative beliefs about love, or have unresolved emotional wounds that prevent them from forming healthy connections. Instead of blaming external circumstances, they need to address these internal issues, whether it's insecurity, lack of trust, or past trauma. As they work on healing themselves and cultivating a more positive outlook on relationships, they will begin to attract healthier, more fulfilling connections. This concept can be applied to all areas of life, from career success to personal happiness. A person might desire a promotion at work, but if they harbor feelings of inadequacy or lack motivation, they will struggle to achieve their goal. On the surface, they may work hard and appear dedicated, but if their internal thoughts are filled with self-doubt or laziness, these will ultimately hold them back. To truly succeed, they must align their thoughts and actions with the success they seek. They need to cultivate self-confidence, discipline, and a strong work ethic. When their internal state matches their external efforts, they will naturally attract the opportunities and success they desire. In essence, we are the architects of our own lives. Our thoughts and actions are powerful forces that shape our reality. If we want to change our circumstances, we must first change ourselves. Blaming the outside world for our struggles is futile because the real cause of our difficulties lies within us. By taking responsibility for our inner lives, our thoughts, beliefs, and behaviors, we can break free from the chains of limitation and create the life we truly desire. It is important to note that this process is not always easy. Self-examination can be uncomfortable, as it requires us to confront our flaws and weaknesses. However, it is only through this honest assessment that we can begin to make the necessary changes. Like a gardener who carefully tends to their plants, we must nurture positive, empowering thoughts and uproot the weeds of negativity and self-doubt. Over time, this inner work will bear fruit, and we will begin to see positive changes in our outer world. To further illustrate this point, consider the life of a student. A student may dream of academic success, but if they do not put in the effort to study and prepare for exams, their dream will remain unfulfilled. Even if they pray for good grades, their prayers will go unanswered if they do not align their actions with their goal. However, if the student adopts a mindset of discipline and perseverance, dedicating time to learning and improving, they will eventually achieve the success they desire. Their external results, good grades, will reflect the internal changes they have made in their attitude and behavior. Similarly, an athlete who desires to win a competition cannot rely on mere wishes or prayers for victory. They must train diligently, develop the necessary skills, and maintain a mindset of determination and focus. Their success on the field is a direct result of the internal discipline and effort they put in during training. By aligning their thoughts and actions with their goal of winning, they increase their chances of achieving it. People are often eager to improve their lives and circumstances, but are reluctant to change or improve themselves. Because of this unwillingness to grow, they stay stuck in the same situation. A person who is willing to endure personal hardship and make sacrifices for the sake of growth will always succeed in achieving their goals. This applies not only to spiritual goals but to material ones as well. Even someone whose main goal is to gain wealth must be ready to make significant sacrifices before reaching their objective. How much more must someone be willing to sacrifice if they want to lead a balanced and fulfilling life? Let's consider the example of a man who is living in poverty. He desperately wants his life and surroundings to improve, but at the same time, he avoids hard work and feels justified in cheating his employer, believing that his low wages excuse his dishonesty. This man fails to grasp the basic principles of success. Not only is he unfit to rise out of his difficult situation, but his lazy, dishonest behavior actually attracts more misery into his life. By holding on to thoughts and actions that are lazy, deceitful, and lacking in integrity, he is unknowingly inviting even greater hardship into his life. Now, think of a wealthy man who suffers from a painful, ongoing illness due to his overeating and unhealthy lifestyle. He is willing to spend large sums of money to get rid of the disease, but he is not willing to give up his unhealthy eating habits. He wants to keep indulging in rich, unnatural foods while simultaneously wanting good health. Such a person is not ready to be healthy because he hasn't learned the most basic rules of living a healthy life. If he refuses to make the necessary changes, no amount of money can buy him the health he desires. Another example is that of an employer who uses unethical practices to avoid paying fair wages. In the hope of increasing his profits, he cuts the wages of his employees. This man is not fit for long-term prosperity. When he eventually finds himself facing financial ruin and a damaged reputation, he blames external circumstances, not realizing that his own dishonest actions are what led him to his downfall. These examples illustrate the common theme that if we want better circumstances, we must first improve ourselves. Personal growth, responsibility, and integrity are key factors in achieving success and happiness in life. The man who refuses to work hard and cheats his employer out of laziness is likely to remain in poverty, while the person who seeks wealth through dishonesty will eventually lose it. Similarly, a person who wants good health but refuses to change unhealthy habits will continue to suffer. True success, whether it be material or spiritual, comes from aligning one's actions with the principles of personal responsibility and self-discipline. Those who refuse to change their negative behaviors or sacrifice short-term pleasures for long-term gains will continue to struggle in life. For example, a student who wants to excel in school but avoids studying will not achieve the academic success they desire. They must make the necessary sacrifices, such as dedicating time to their studies, to reach their goals. Similarly, in relationships, if someone desires a loving, supportive relationship but continually engages in selfish or harmful behavior, they are likely to experience conflict and dissatisfaction. Building strong relationships requires self-improvement, kindness, and the willingness to prioritize the well-being of others. In the workplace, success requires more than just talent or ambition. It requires a strong work ethic, honesty, and a willingness to go the extra mile. A person who cuts corners or takes shortcuts may see short-term gains, but over time, their lack of integrity will catch up with them. On the other hand, someone who consistently works hard, treats others with respect, and demonstrates honesty will build a solid foundation for long-term success. Another key point is that lasting change comes from within. External circumstances may improve for a while, but if a person does not change their inner mindset and behavior, they will eventually revert to their old patterns. For instance, a person may win the lottery and suddenly become wealthy, but if they haven't developed the discipline to manage money wisely, they may quickly lose their fortune. In contrast, A person who develops good financial habits, such as saving, investing wisely, and living within their means, is more likely to build and maintain wealth over time. Even if they experience temporary setbacks, their inner discipline will help them bounce back. The principle of self-improvement applies to all areas of life: health, wealth, relationships, and personal fulfillment. If we want to see positive changes in our lives, we must be willing to examine ourselves honestly, identify areas where we need to grow, and take consistent action to improve. This process may require sacrifice, but the rewards are well worth it. For example, someone who wants to improve their physical health may need to give up unhealthy foods, exercise regularly, and develop better habits. While it may be challenging at first, the long-term benefits, such as increased energy, better health, and a longer life, far outweigh the temporary discomfort of making those changes. In the same way, a person who wants to improve their career prospects may need to invest in further education, develop new skills, or take on more responsibility at work. Although it may require effort and dedication, the rewards of career growth, financial stability, and personal satisfaction make it a worthwhile endeavor. In essence, if we want to improve our circumstances, we must first improve ourselves. This means embracing personal responsibility, practicing self-discipline, and being willing to make sacrifices for the greater good. Success and happiness come not from external changes alone, but from the inner transformation that aligns our actions with the principles of integrity, hard work, and personal growth. Whether in health, wealth, or relationships, the path to lasting fulfillment begins with self-improvement. The examples I have given are meant to illustrate the point that people are responsible for their circumstances, even though they may not realize it. While people often aim for a positive outcome, they frequently sabotage their own success by harboring thoughts and desires that don't align with their goals. There are countless other examples of this, but I believe the reader can reflect on their own experiences to observe how their thoughts influence their life. Without this self-reflection, relying solely on external events to explain circumstances is inadequate. Life is complex, and thoughts are deeply ingrained. The things that bring happiness differ from person to person, making it difficult for anyone to fully understand someone else's inner condition based only on what is visible. For example, a person might be honest in many ways, but still face hardship, while someone who is dishonest might accumulate wealth. However, to conclude that the honest person struggles solely due to their honesty, and the dishonest person succeeds because of their dishonesty, is a simplistic and often misleading judgment. This kind of thinking assumes that the dishonest person is entirely corrupt and that the honest person is nearly perfect. When we look more closely, we realize this view is flawed. The dishonest individual might possess some admirable qualities that the honest one lacks, while the honest person may have weaknesses or harmful traits that the dishonest person does not. Each person experiences the consequences of their own thoughts and actions. The honest person benefits from the positive results of their good deeds, but they also endure the negative consequences of their flaws. Similarly, the dishonest person will experience both the happiness and the suffering that come from their own thoughts and behaviors. To understand this better, let's explore more real-life examples that showcase how this principle works. Take, for instance, someone who works hard and is honest in their career. They treat people fairly and live with integrity, yet they struggle financially or face obstacles in their professional life. It's easy to assume their honesty is to blame for their struggles, but this ignores other factors. Perhaps they have self-doubt or fear that holds them back, or maybe they avoid taking risks, which prevents them from reaching their full potential. Their honesty brings them respect and trust, but their inner fears limit their success. On the other hand, imagine a business person who is known for cutting corners and engaging in unethical practices. They may seem successful, driving expensive cars and living in luxury. To an outside observer, it might appear that their dishonesty is paid off. However, beneath the surface, this individual could be experiencing constant stress, guilt, or fear of being exposed. They may have strained relationships or lack the peace of mind that comes from living with integrity. Over time, these inner conflicts could lead to their downfall, either through legal troubles, personal crises, or a sense of emptiness despite their wealth. Both examples show how circumstances are shaped by more than just external actions. What truly determines a person's overall success and happiness is the combination of their thoughts, attitudes, and behaviors. When we look beyond surface-level judgments, we see that everyone's life is a result of a mixture of good and bad choices, and each person must face the outcomes of their own mental and emotional state. It's also essential to consider that what may seem like suffering or failure in the short term could be laying the groundwork for future success. For example, a person who endures financial hardship due to their honesty may learn valuable lessons about resilience, patience, or innovation. Over time, these qualities could lead them to greater achievements that are more meaningful and long-lasting than wealth gained through dishonest means. Likewise, the dishonest person's temporary success might lead them to complacency or a false sense of security, which could eventually cause their failure. The stress of living unethically might impact their health, relationships, or even their ability to enjoy the success they've gained. The consequences of their dishonesty could catch up with them in unexpected ways, whether through personal crises or loss of reputation. In this way, life is always a reflection of the mind and spirit. External circumstances, whether they seem good or bad, are not always an accurate measure of a person's true success or failure. True happiness and success come from aligning one's thoughts and actions with higher values such as integrity, kindness, and perseverance. When people focus on cultivating positive thoughts and virtues, their outer life will eventually reflect this inner strength, even if it takes time. Therefore, instead of making hasty judgments about others based on surface appearances, we should recognize the complexity of human experience. Everyone is working through their own mental and emotional challenges, and their circumstances are the result of a combination of their virtues, flaws, and the thoughts they nurture. By understanding this, we can be more compassionate toward others and more mindful of the thoughts and desires we allow to shape our own lives. To truly grow and improve our circumstances, we must take responsibility for the role our thoughts play in shaping our reality. This requires honest self-reflection and the willingness to change the patterns of thought that hold us back. It's not enough to blame external circumstances or other people for our difficulties. We must recognize that our inner world creates our outer world. As we cultivate better thoughts, attitudes, and actions, we will gradually see our circumstances improve in alignment with our goals. In essence, the examples provided show that success and happiness are not solely the result of external actions like honesty or dishonesty, but rather the result of the complex interplay between thoughts, desires, and actions. By focusing on improving our inner world and aligning our thoughts with our goals, we can create a more fulfilling and successful life. It's comforting for people to think they suffer because of their good qualities, but the truth is, one can only make this claim after completely getting rid of every negative, bitter, and impure thought from their mind. A person needs to cleanse their soul of all wrongdoing before they can truly know that their sufferings stem from their good nature rather than their bad qualities. On the path toward this perfection, though far from reaching it, one will discover a universal law that governs everything. This law is perfectly fair and just, and it doesn't reward evil with good or good with evil. When someone fully understands this, they will be able to look back at their past, acknowledging that their life has always been ordered justly. They will see that every experience, whether positive or negative, was simply the natural outcome of their personal growth and development. Good thoughts and actions always lead to positive outcomes, and bad thoughts and actions always lead to negative results. It's as simple as saying that a field of corn will only grow corn, and nettles will only grow nettles. People easily understand this principle when it comes to the physical world, but fail to recognize its application in the mental and moral aspects of life. The law works just as consistently in the mind and spirit as it does in nature. But because people don't realize this, they don't align themselves with it in their daily lives. Suffering, at its core, is always caused by some form of wrong thinking. It's a sign that the person is out of balance with their true self and with the laws that govern life. The primary purpose of suffering is to cleanse the individual, to burn away anything that is harmful or impure. Once a person is pure in thought and action, suffering has no reason to exist. There's no need to purify gold once all the impurities have been removed. In the same way, a person who is completely pure and enlightened cannot suffer because there is nothing left in them that needs to be cleansed. The situations people face that cause suffering are the result of their own mental disharmony. On the other hand, the situations that bring happiness and peace come from a mind that is in harmony with itself and the greater laws of life. True blessedness isn't measured by material wealth, but by the quality of one's thoughts. Likewise, wretchedness isn't caused by a lack of material things, but by a lack of harmony in the mind. A person can be wealthy yet miserable or poor yet happy, because the state of the mind, not possessions, determines the quality of life. To further elaborate, let's consider the way we often deal with difficult situations in life. It's common to blame outside circumstances for our struggles. We think, if only this or that had gone differently, I wouldn't be suffering. But what we fail to see is that our internal state, our thoughts, and our attitudes shape the very experiences we go through. Imagine two people facing the same hardship. One might feel hopeless and miserable, while the other finds peace and even strength in the challenge. This difference comes down to their mental state. The one who suffers is likely holding on to negative thoughts, fear, or self-doubt, while the one who remains peaceful has aligned their thoughts with acceptance, courage, and hope. Think of life like a garden. If you plant seeds of bitterness, fear, and anger, you'll grow a garden filled with weeds. But if you plant seeds of love, kindness, and patience, you'll cultivate a beautiful, flourishing garden. Each thought is like a seed, and our experiences are the fruit of the seeds we've planted. This is why it's so important to pay attention to our inner world, our thoughts and beliefs. They shape everything we experience in the outer world. To provide a practical example, let's consider someone who is constantly angry and resentful. Over time, this person might find themselves in conflict with others, feeling isolated and misunderstood. Their suffering, though it may seem caused by other people or external situations, is actually rooted in their own negative thinking. They are out of harmony with the law of love and kindness, and as a result, they experience pain. However, if they begin to shift their thoughts toward forgiveness, understanding, and compassion, their outer circumstances will slowly change as well. Relationships will improve and peace will replace conflict. On the flip side, someone who is focused on positive, constructive thoughts will naturally attract more positive experiences. Imagine a person who, despite facing financial difficulties, remains grateful, hopeful, and determined. This mindset will not only help them endure the challenge, but may also open doors to new opportunities and blessings that wouldn't have been available if they had remained stuck in negativity. Their mind, aligned with the law of abundance and perseverance, will guide them toward success, even if they currently have little material wealth. It's important to note that this isn't about blaming people for their suffering. Rather, it's about empowering them to realize that they have more control over their lives than they might think. By changing their thoughts, they can change their reality. It's a process of personal growth and spiritual development. Another key point to understand is that suffering serves a purpose. It's not meaningless or random. Every challenge we face is an opportunity to learn and grow. When we view suffering as a teacher, it becomes a tool for our transformation. For instance, someone who goes through a painful breakup might initially feel devastated, but over time, as they reflect on the experience, they may realize that it taught them valuable lessons about themselves, about love, and about what they truly need in a relationship. In this way, suffering leads to greater wisdom and inner strength. This perspective can also be seen in the lives of many great spiritual teachers and leaders. Take the example of Nelson Mandela, who was imprisoned for 27 years. He could have allowed this experience to fill him with hatred and bitterness. Instead, he used the time to reflect, grow, and strengthen his resolve for justice and peace. His suffering became the catalyst for his greatness and the eventual freedom of his people. Mandela's story illustrates how, when we respond to suffering with the right mindset, it can elevate us rather than destroy us. In essence, our thoughts and attitudes play a crucial role in shaping our experiences. Suffering arises from being out of harmony with the laws of life, while blessedness is the result of aligning ourselves with these laws. By purifying our thoughts and actions, we can move away from suffering and toward a life of peace, joy, and fulfillment. Blessings and wealth are only truly connected when riches are used in the right and wise way. Money and material success can be a blessing, but only if they are managed responsibly and with wisdom. Riches, in themselves, do not bring true happiness or peace unless they are aligned with good intentions and used for positive purposes. On the other hand, a poor person only falls into misery when they see their lack of wealth as an unfair burden placed upon them. It is not their financial situation that causes wretchedness, but how they view and react to it. Poverty and indulgence represent two extreme forms of misery. Poverty is often thought of as a lack of basic needs, while indulgence is about having too much and not knowing how to use it well. Both of these conditions are unnatural because they stem from a mind that is not in balance. When a person's thoughts are out of order, either filled with dissatisfaction or excessive greed, they create unhappiness for themselves. True contentment does not depend on how much or how little someone has. Rather, it comes from a peaceful and well-organized mind that knows how to handle life's challenges and blessings alike. A person is truly living well when they are happy, healthy, and successful in what they do. However, these three things, happiness, health, and success, don't happen by accident. They come from a harmonious connection between a person's inner self and the world around them. For instance, a man who wakes up with gratitude in his heart, takes care of his health, and works with dedication and integrity is likely to live a prosperous life. His inner attitude creates the foundation for his outer success. A person only starts becoming their true self when they stop complaining about their situation and begin to search for the deeper lessons in life. Many people waste time blaming others or their circumstances for their struggles. However, growth begins when they decide to look for the hidden justice that governs life. There are universal laws that guide everything, and when a person aligns their thinking with these laws, they begin to make progress. For example, instead of blaming the government, their boss, or their upbringing for their financial struggles, a person could start looking at how they can improve their skills, change their mindset about money, or seek new opportunities. As they do this, they stop accusing others of being the cause of their problems and begin to build themselves up with strong and positive thoughts. By taking responsibility for their own life, they stop resisting their circumstances and start using them as stepping stones for personal growth. Every challenge can become an opportunity for discovering new strengths and abilities. For example, someone who loses their job can either become bitter and blame the economy, or they can use the time to learn new skills, network with people, or start their own business. The difference lies in their mindset and how they approach the situation. The universe operates under clear and consistent laws. There is no randomness or chaos at its core. The dominant principle that rules the universe is law, not confusion. Justice, not injustice, is the heart of life. Though it may seem at times like life is unfair, there is a deeper order that governs everything. When a person focuses on living righteously, doing what is right, treating others fairly, and living with integrity, they align themselves with the spiritual laws that shape the world. Righteousness, not corruption, is the force that moves and shapes the world on a spiritual level. With this understanding, a person only needs to work on putting themselves in the right state of mind and action to see that the world around them also starts to change. When a person corrects their own thinking and behavior, they begin to see life in a clearer, more just way. As they change their thoughts about themselves, their situation, and other people, they will notice that things around them also begin to shift. For example, someone who is always angry and blaming others may find that once they change their attitude to one of gratitude and responsibility, their relationships improve and new opportunities appear. This is not magic, but the natural result of aligning with the laws of life. Another example is a person who always feels unlucky or victimized by life. They may believe that no matter what they do, things will go wrong for them. This negative mindset will only attract more negativity and failure. But once they start changing their thoughts to ones of possibility, hope, and determination, they will begin to see new doors open. They might meet the right people, find unexpected resources, or stumble upon opportunities they never saw before. The universe responds to the energy and thoughts we put out. In essence, wealth and happiness are only connected when riches are used wisely. Poverty and indulgence both represent extremes of mental imbalance, and true peace comes from neither. A person who stops blaming their circumstances and starts taking responsibility for their life will discover great inner strength and the hidden opportunities that lie within challenges. The universe is governed by law, justice, and righteousness, and when a person aligns with these principles, they will see their outer world begin to reflect their inner growth. Life is a reflection of our thoughts, and as we change our thoughts, the world around us changes too. The truth of how our thoughts shape our lives is evident within each person, and it can be easily discovered through self-reflection and self-examination. If a person makes a significant change in their thinking, they will be amazed at how quickly their external circumstances begin to change as well. Many people believe that their thoughts are private and can remain hidden, but this is not true. Thoughts quickly manifest into habits, and those habits then solidify into the circumstances of our lives. For example, negative, animalistic thoughts lead to habits of indulgence, such as excessive drinking or sensual pleasures, which then result in a life filled with poverty and poor health. Impure thoughts of any kind turn into habits that drain energy and create confusion, leading to chaotic and difficult situations. Thoughts of fear, doubt, and indecision form weak and indecisive habits, which bring about failure, dependency on others, and a lack of confidence. Lazy thoughts evolve into habits of dishonesty and neglect, which result in a life filled with dirtiness and poverty. Angry and judgmental thoughts lead to habits of accusation and violence, which then bring about harm, injury, and persecution from others. Selfish thoughts turn into habits of self-centeredness, leading to uncomfortable and distressing circumstances. On the contrary, positive and beautiful thoughts create habits of kindness, grace, and generosity, leading to pleasant and happy life situations. Pure thoughts result in habits of moderation and self-control, bringing peace and calm into one's life. Thoughts of courage, self-confidence, and determination become strong and manly habits, which lead to success, abundance, and freedom. Energetic thoughts form habits of cleanliness and hard work, which bring about comfort and satisfaction in one's surroundings. Gentle and forgiving thoughts create habits of kindness, which in turn lead to a life filled with protection and preservation. Loving and selfless thoughts lead to habits of putting others first, which then result in long-lasting prosperity and true wealth. The thoughts we hold on to, whether good or bad, always produce results in our character and the circumstances around us. Although we may not be able to directly control every detail of our lives, we have the power to choose our thoughts. And by choosing the right thoughts, we can indirectly but steadily shape the circumstances we find ourselves in. This concept is not just theoretical, but practical and observable in everyday life. Take, for example, someone who constantly thinks negatively about their financial situation. They may develop habits of spending recklessly or avoiding responsibility, which then leads to debt, stress, and poverty. On the other hand, a person who trains their mind to think positively and confidently about money is more likely to develop habits of saving, investing, and working diligently, which over time leads to financial stability and success. Similarly, consider a person who regularly entertains thoughts of anger and resentment. These negative emotions can lead them to lash out at others or hold grudges, which damages relationships and creates a hostile environment. Over time, this person may find themselves isolated, feeling like the world is against them. In contrast, someone who focuses on forgiveness and compassion will naturally form healthier relationships, experience more emotional peace, and attract positive people and situations into their life. Another example is how thoughts of insecurity can influence one's actions. A person who constantly doubts their abilities may avoid taking risks or trying new things. This lack of action results in missed opportunities, stagnant personal growth, and feelings of unfulfillment. However, if that same person starts thinking confidently, even when they face challenges, they will be more inclined to take bold steps, leading to personal success and fulfillment. The power of thought extends to every aspect of life, from relationships to careers to health. A person who believes they can achieve their goals will naturally take steps toward achieving them, while someone who constantly doubts themselves may never even try. This is why it's essential to monitor and change our thought patterns consciously. To further illustrate this idea, let's explore the relationship between thoughts and physical health. A person who is consumed by worry and stress may develop habits like poor eating, lack of exercise, or neglect of personal well-being, all of which can lead to illness. On the other hand, someone who maintains thoughts of vitality, strength, and well-being is more likely to adopt healthy habits such as regular exercise, a balanced diet, and self-care practices, resulting in better physical health. In the workplace, thoughts also play a crucial role. A person who thinks negatively about their job, feeling undervalued or underappreciated, may develop habits of poor performance or absenteeism, leading to career stagnation or even job loss. Conversely, someone who approaches their work with positive and ambitious thoughts will develop habits of excellence, punctuality, and professionalism, likely leading to promotions and career growth. The idea that thoughts become things is not only philosophical but also scientifically supported. Cognitive behavioral psychology, for example, emphasizes how our thoughts influence our emotions and behaviors. When we change our thinking, we change our behaviors, which then affects our outcomes. The law of attraction, a concept embraced by many, also supports this idea. Positivity attracts positive outcomes, and negativity draws negative outcomes. In spiritual terms, many religious and philosophical teachings echo this truth. The Bible, for instance, in Proverbs 23 verse 7, NIV says, "For as he thinks in his heart, so is he." This means that what we think about shapes who we are and what we become. Buddhism also teaches that our thoughts are the seeds we plant in the garden of our lives, and they eventually grow into our reality. The choice is always in our hands. We may not be able to change the past or control every circumstance, but we can choose to change our mindset moving forward. By consistently choosing positive, empowering, and uplifting thoughts, we set ourselves on a path toward a better, more fulfilling life. As we change our thoughts, our actions follow suit, and those actions ultimately shape the world around us. In essence, while we may not have direct control over the events that happen to us, we have full control over our thoughts. And through this control, we can indirectly shape our circumstances. Whether you are striving for financial success, better relationships, or improved health, it all starts with your thoughts. By taking responsibility for what you think, you take the first step toward creating the life you desire. The power to transform your life lies within your own mind. Choose wisely, and watch how your life changes for the better. Nature has a way of helping every person fulfill the thoughts that they dwell on the most. If you constantly focus on certain ideas or desires, life will present you with opportunities that reflect those thoughts, whether they are good or bad. This means that the kind of thoughts you allow to dominate your mind shape the kind of situations and opportunities that come your way. For example, if a person continuously thinks in a negative or harmful way, like indulging in anger, jealousy, or selfishness, life will present them with situations that reinforce those feelings. People and events that trigger more anger or frustration will seem to appear, making it hard to escape a cycle of negativity. On the other hand, if a person chooses to let go of such sinful thoughts and focus on kindness, compassion, and forgiveness, their experiences will begin to change. The world will appear more helpful, and others will be more willing to support and assist them in their goals. Let's consider a person who suffers from low self-esteem and constantly feels like a failure. If they feed these thoughts of weakness and inadequacy, opportunities that require confidence and boldness may seem out of reach. However, the moment they decide to replace those weak and harmful thoughts with thoughts of strength, courage, and determination, new opportunities will begin to appear. People who can help them succeed will show up, and life will offer situations where they can grow and develop into a stronger, more confident person. This shift in mindset can open doors to success they once believed were locked. For instance, think of someone who has been struggling to find a job. If they keep thinking, "I'm not good enough, there are no opportunities for me," they will likely miss out on job openings or fail to take action when they do come across a good opportunity. Their mindset has limited them. However, if they shift their thoughts to, "I have the skills and the right opportunity will come to me," they'll start noticing job openings they hadn't seen before, and they'll feel more confident applying for positions they once thought were beyond their reach. Nature, in this sense, responds to the energy and focus of our thoughts. The world around you is like a kaleidoscope, constantly shifting and changing in response to your thoughts. Just like the colors in a kaleidoscope form beautiful, ever-changing patterns, the situations in your life will shift based on what you think and focus on. If your thoughts are filled with hope, strength, and positivity, the colors of your life will reflect beauty and opportunity. If your mind is clouded with fear, doubt, or resentment, the patterns of your life will reflect chaos and struggle. One of the most powerful tools that a person possesses is their will, the ability to decide and act with purpose. Your will, or determination, is stronger than any external circumstance. It can break through obstacles that seem impossible to overcome. No matter how tough a situation may seem, your willpower can help you find a way to move forward. It's like having an inner force that can push you past barriers that seem unmovable, like granite walls. Sometimes, people blame their environment for their failures. They say, "I can't succeed because of where I come from," or "my circumstances are holding me back." But this kind of thinking is limiting. Yes, our environment can present challenges, but it does not have the final say in our success. The human spirit is stronger than any external force, and it can rise above difficult environments. History is full of examples of people who came from humble or harsh backgrounds and still achieved greatness because they had the determination to succeed. Take, for instance, Oprah Winfrey, who grew up in poverty and faced numerous hardships. She didn't let her environment define her. Instead, she focused on her goals and used her willpower to overcome the obstacles in her path. Her story is a powerful example of how a person can rise above their environment with the right mindset and determination. Your will can also conquer time and space. This might sound strange at first, but think of it like this. With enough determination, you can achieve things faster than you thought possible, or you can overcome distances that seemed too far. For example, if you have a strong desire to learn a new skill, your determination will push you to practice every day. And soon, you'll find yourself mastering that skill faster than you expected. Likewise, if you have the will to succeed in a distant place or a foreign land, your spirit will find a way to make that dream a reality, no matter how far away it seems. Chance or luck is often viewed as something unpredictable that controls our fate. However, a strong-willed person does not rely on chance. They take control of their destiny by making decisions and taking actions that align with their goals. A person who relies on luck alone might sit and wait for opportunities to come to them, while someone with determination will create their own opportunities. The difference is clear. One leaves life up to chance, while the other shapes life through their willpower. Sometimes, things don't happen as quickly as we would like, and it's easy to get impatient. But patience is key. When you trust in your inner strength and remain patient, everything will fall into place at the right time. As the saying goes, good things come to those who wait. This doesn't mean you sit around doing nothing, but rather that you stay committed to your goals and trust that your efforts will pay off in due time. The universe, or as some may say, the gods, will align to support you when your spirit rises and commands them to. In conclusion, your thoughts and willpower have a profound influence on the world around you. By choosing to focus on positive, strong, and determined thoughts, you will attract opportunities and situations that reflect those thoughts. The key is to remain patient, trust in your inner strength, and continue to take action toward your goals. Nature, or the universe, responds to those who believe in their power to shape their destiny. So be mindful of what you think and where you direct your energy, for your life will reflect it. In another example, studies have shown that people who maintain a positive outlook after surgery often recover more quickly than those who remain pessimistic or fearful. Their mindset contributes to a smoother healing process, highlighting the connection between thought and physical health. Thoughts and chronic conditions. Many chronic conditions are also influenced by our mental state. Diseases such as high blood pressure, diabetes, and heart disease are often linked to stress, anxiety, and negative thinking patterns. When we allow these harmful thoughts to dominate, they can exacerbate these conditions or even bring them about in the first place. Conversely, practicing relaxation techniques, mindfulness, and positive thinking can have significant effects on chronic illnesses. For example, patients with high blood pressure who practice daily meditation or positive visualization often experience a reduction in their symptoms. By calming the mind and focusing on positive outcomes, they help their body relax, which in turn lowers blood pressure and reduces the risk of heart-related complications. The mind-body connection in scientific studies. Modern science supports the mind-body connection. Research in the field of psychoneuroimmunology, PNI, explores how thoughts and emotions influence the nervous, immune, and endocrine systems. Studies have found that stress and negative emotions can weaken immune responses, making people more susceptible to infections and slower to heal from injuries. On the other hand, positive emotions like joy and gratitude have been shown to strengthen immune function. For example, a study conducted with cancer patients revealed that those who engaged in positive thinking, mindfulness, and stress-reducing activities had better immune responses and longer survival rates than those who remained in a state of fear or depression. This highlights how much power our minds have over our physical well-being. How negative thinking impacts the nervous system. Thoughts that are fearful, anxious, or pessimistic can also affect the nervous system. When you dwell on negative ideas, your brain signals the body to enter fight-or-flight mode, releasing adrenaline and cortisol, which prepare you to respond to danger. While this response is helpful in short bursts, when it's constantly activated by ongoing stress or worry, it can lead to issues like high blood pressure, weight gain, and a weakened immune system. Furthermore, people who engage in negative self-talk or harbor feelings of worthlessness may notice a decline in their mental health, which in turn affects physical health. Depression and anxiety are often accompanied by fatigue, headaches, and digestive problems, creating a vicious cycle where mental health problems worsen physical ailments. Thoughts shape our habits. Beyond directly affecting health, our thoughts shape our habits, which in turn impact our bodies. For instance, someone who believes that they are unworthy or incapable of change may adopt unhealthy behaviors like overeating, substance abuse, or avoiding exercise. Over time, these habits take a toll on the body, leading to weight gain, chronic diseases, and overall poor health. On the other hand, someone who fosters positive and self-affirming thoughts will likely adopt healthier habits. They might choose to eat nourishing foods, exercise regularly, and prioritize sleep because they believe they deserve to feel good and be healthy. The impact of spiritual and moral thoughts on health. Spiritual and moral purity also plays a role in health. Just as clean thoughts lead to a clean body, impure thoughts can manifest as physical disease. For instance, anger, jealousy, and resentment have been shown to increase inflammation in the body, contributing to conditions like heart disease and arthritis. On the other hand, thoughts of love, forgiveness, and compassion can reduce stress and promote healing. In one study, individuals who practiced forgiveness reported lower levels of physical pain and improved mental health. By letting go of grudges and negative emotions, they were able to free their minds and bodies from the toxic effects of bitterness. This further demonstrates how interconnected our emotional and physical health are. Mental and physical cleansing. A healthy mind contributes to a healthy body. This is why merely changing one's diet or exercise routine without addressing the underlying thoughts will not lead to lasting health improvements. For example, someone who switches to a healthy diet but continues to dwell on negative thoughts may still experience poor health outcomes because their mind is constantly signaling stress and worry to the body. It's important to engage in mental and emotional cleansing alongside physical efforts. Just as we cleanse our bodies through hygiene practices, we must regularly cleanse our minds by replacing negative thoughts with positive ones, practicing gratitude, and focusing on uplifting ideas. A person who is spiritually and mentally clean will naturally make healthier choices and adopt habits that support their physical well-being. The power of habitual thoughts. Thoughts, when repeated over time, become habits. These habitual thoughts shape our reality, influencing not only our health, but also our life circumstances. A person who constantly entertains negative thoughts will likely experience both physical illness and life difficulties, while someone who consistently thinks positive, healthy thoughts will experience the opposite. For example, a person who wakes up each day with thoughts of gratitude and joy will likely face the day with more energy, better relationships, and a stronger sense of well-being. Their body will reflect this positive mindset through improved health, energy, and vitality. On the other hand, someone who starts the day with dread or negativity may experience fatigue, poor health, and strained relationships. Mastering the mind for health. In essence, our thoughts have a profound impact on our health and well-being. By mastering our minds, we can influence our bodies in positive ways. We must be diligent in cultivating healthy, happy, and positive thoughts if we want to experience good health. It's not enough to focus on diet and exercise alone. True health comes from aligning our thoughts with positive, life-affirming ideas. When we do this, we create an environment where the body can thrive, heal, and express vitality. To protect your body, you must first guard your mind. Just as a healthy body needs care, a beautiful mind is essential for renewal. Negative thoughts, like malice, envy, disappointment, and despair, can rob your body of its health and vitality. When someone has a sour expression, it's not just by chance, it reflects the bitterness of their thoughts. Wrinkles that form on the face often arise from folly, uncontrolled passion, and pride. I know a remarkable woman who is 96 years old, yet she has the bright, innocent face of a young girl. Her spirit shines with positivity. In contrast, there is a man I know who is younger, but his face appears drawn and tense. This difference is not just about age, it's about how they perceive and respond to life. The woman's joyful disposition has kept her face radiant, while the man's life of discontent has marred his features. Just as you cannot have a clean and inviting home without allowing fresh air and sunlight inside, a healthy body and a cheerful, peaceful face can only come from welcoming joyful, kind, and serene thoughts into your mind. If you fill your mind with negativity, it will reflect in your appearance and health. When you look at the faces of older people, you can often see the stories of their lives written in their wrinkles. Some wrinkles are formed by years of sympathy and kindness, while others are etched by strong, pure thoughts. Then there are those created by passion and bitterness. It's easy to tell the difference if you pay attention. For those who have lived a righteous life, aging can be calm and beautiful, much like a sunset that glows softly as the day ends. I recently witnessed a philosopher on his deathbed. He was not particularly old, but he had a wisdom that came from living a good life. He passed away peacefully, just as he had lived, sweetly and with grace. There is no medicine quite like cheerful thoughts for easing physical discomfort. No comfort can compare to goodwill when it comes to lifting the weight of grief and sorrow. When we live with thoughts filled with ill will, cynicism, suspicion, and envy, we trap ourselves in a self-made prison. Instead, we should strive to think positively about others, to approach life with cheerfulness, and to patiently seek out the good in everyone around us. These selfless thoughts open the doors to happiness and peace. To illustrate this further, consider a person who consistently focuses on gratitude. Each day, they take a moment to appreciate the little things: a warm cup of tea, a kind word from a friend, or the beauty of nature. This practice fills their heart with joy and radiates outward, creating a warm and welcoming presence. On the other hand, think of someone who allows negative thoughts to take hold. They might dwell on past mistakes or harbor grudges. Over time, this negativity not only affects their mood, but also impacts their relationships and health. Their body may show signs of stress, fatigue, and unhappiness, creating a cycle that feeds into itself. The key is to cultivate a mindset that embraces joy, kindness, and serenity. This doesn't mean ignoring life's challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing to focus on the positive aspects and seeking solutions rather than dwelling on problems. For instance, during tough times, instead of getting consumed by despair, one can reflect on past experiences where they overcame obstacles. This practice not only boosts resilience, but also fosters a sense of hope. Moreover, surrounding ourselves with positive influences can be transformative. Engaging with uplifting people, reading inspiring books, or participating in community service can shift our mindset from one of negativity to one of abundance. When we focus on uplifting others, we inadvertently lift ourselves. In conclusion, to enhance our well-being, we must prioritize our mental state. By fostering positive thoughts and feelings of goodwill, we can improve not only our physical health, but also our emotional and spiritual well-being. Living with peace and kindness opens the door to a brighter, healthier future, reflecting in our appearance and overall happiness. Chapter 4. Thought and Purpose. Until thought is aligned with purpose, there can be no true accomplishment. For most people, their thoughts drift aimlessly through life, like a ship without a rudder lost at sea. Aimlessness is a weakness, and allowing this drifting to continue inevitably leads to disaster and failure. To live without a clear sense of purpose is to invite troubles, fears, and worries into your life. People without a purpose often become consumed by self-pity and uncertainty, and these are signs of internal weakness. Such weakness, like sin, can lead to failure and unhappiness, but by a different path. It's essential for a person to have a clear and legitimate purpose in life, and to actively work toward achieving it. This purpose should become the central point of their thoughts. Whether it is a spiritual goal or a more worldly ambition depends on the individual. But whatever the purpose, it must become the focus of their mental energy. Concentrating fully on this purpose helps develop self-control and discipline. The key is to avoid letting your thoughts drift into meaningless distractions, daydreams, or fleeting desires. Even if you fail in achieving your purpose many times, those failures are not the end of the journey. Each attempt builds strength of character, and this strength is the true measure of success. With each failure, you learn, grow, and become stronger, preparing you for future triumphs. Why thought and purpose are important. Having a purpose gives life meaning and direction. When you set a goal or purpose for yourself, your thoughts have a destination. Without it, your mind can easily become scattered, leading to confusion and frustration. Many people go through life reacting to circumstances without a clear aim, and this lack of direction prevents them from achieving their full potential. By linking thought with purpose, you channel your energy toward a specific outcome. This connection between thought and purpose can also lead to personal growth. For example, consider someone who wants to start a business. Their purpose is clear: to create a successful enterprise. With that purpose in mind, they will focus their thoughts on learning about the industry, developing a business plan, and finding solutions to challenges they encounter. Even if they fail in their first attempt, the knowledge and experience they gain prepare them for success in future ventures. Another example might be someone who sets a spiritual goal. Perhaps their purpose is to develop a deeper connection with God, or to live a life that reflects their faith. By focusing their thoughts on this spiritual ideal, they shape their actions to align with that goal. This process of concentrating thought on a purpose not only brings them closer to achieving their spiritual goal, but also strengthens their faith and character. The consequences of aimlessness. Aimlessness is not just a passive state, it actively leads to negative consequences. People who lack purpose often become overwhelmed by the small day-to-day troubles of life. They may spend their time worrying about things that don't really matter, or they might fall into a cycle of fear and self-doubt. Without a central goal, their energy is scattered, and they lack the motivation to face challenges. Imagine a person who has no clear career goal. They might jump from job to job, never truly committing to any role. Over time, they may begin to feel unfulfilled, frustrated, and uncertain about their future. This lack of direction leads to anxiety and dissatisfaction, and without a purpose to guide them, they are more likely to fall into unhealthy habits, such as procrastination or even addiction. On the other hand, someone with a purpose has a different experience. Because they have a goal to work toward, they are more likely to push through challenges, find solutions, and stay motivated, even in difficult circumstances. Their focus on their purpose helps them navigate life's ups and downs with greater resilience. How to discover and commit to your purpose. The first step in linking thought with purpose is to discover what your purpose is. This requires self-reflection and an honest evaluation of what is important to you. Some people may find their purpose through their career, while others might discover it in their relationships, their faith, or their personal development. It's important to recognize that your purpose may evolve over time. What is most important to you today may not be the same in a few years, and that's okay. Once you have a sense of your purpose, the next step is to commit to it. This means making your purpose a priority in your life and aligning your thoughts and actions with it. For example, if your purpose is to become a better parent, you might focus your thoughts on ways to spend more quality time with your children or develop your patience and understanding. If your purpose is to build a career in a specific field, you would direct your thoughts toward gaining the skills and experience needed to succeed in that field. It's also important to stay committed to your purpose, even when challenges arise. Failure and setbacks are a natural part of the process, but they should not deter you from your goal. Each failure is an opportunity to learn and grow, and with each setback, you are building the strength of character needed for future success. Examples of purpose in action. Consider the story of Thomas Edison, who is famously known for inventing the light bulb. Edison's purpose was to create a long-lasting electric light source, and he dedicated his thoughts and energy to this goal. He failed thousands of times in his experiments, but each failure brought him one step closer to success. His persistence and focus on his purpose are what ultimately led to his invention. If Edison had allowed his thoughts to drift or become discouraged by failure, he would not have achieved his goal. Another example is Mother Teresa, whose purpose was to serve the poor and suffering. She focused her thoughts and actions on this purpose, and despite the many challenges she faced, she remained committed to her goal. Her unwavering dedication to her purpose led her to establish missions that provided care and support to those in need around the world. In everyday life, there are countless examples of people who have succeeded by linking their thoughts with their purpose. Athletes, for instance, set a goal to win a championship, and they dedicate their thoughts to training, improving their skills, and overcoming obstacles. Entrepreneurs start businesses with the purpose of creating something valuable, and their focused thoughts guide them through the challenges of building a company. Practical steps to strengthen thought and purpose. To strengthen the connection between your thoughts and purpose, you can take several practical steps. First, write down your purpose. Putting your purpose into words helps clarify your goal and makes it more concrete. Next, create a plan. Break down your purpose into smaller, achievable goals and set specific actions to accomplish them. For instance, if your purpose is to improve your health, you might set goals such as exercising regularly, eating healthier, and getting enough sleep. Third, practice mindfulness and self-discipline. Being mindful of your thoughts helps you stay focused on your purpose. When distractions arise, gently bring your thoughts back to your goal. Self-discipline is crucial in avoiding the temptation to give up or drift into aimlessness. Finally, review and adjust your purpose regularly. As you grow and change, your purpose may evolve. Regular reflection ensures that your purpose remains meaningful and relevant to your life. Linking thought with purpose is essential for meaningful and intelligent living. Without purpose, life becomes a series of random events, and our thoughts become scattered and ineffective. When we have a clear purpose, our thoughts become powerful tools that help us achieve our goals. Purpose gives us direction, focus, and resilience in the face of challenges. Whether it's a spiritual ideal, a career goal, or a personal ambition, aligning our thoughts with our purpose leads to personal growth and ultimate success. Even if we face setbacks, the strength we gain along the way is the true reward. Developing strength through purpose and effort. Those who are not yet ready to embrace a significant life purpose should focus their thoughts on performing their duties to the best of their abilities, even if the task seems small or unimportant. It is through this attention to detail and the consistent execution of our responsibilities that we train our minds to concentrate and gather the necessary energy to achieve larger goals. Over time, this process builds strength and determination. When this strength is cultivated, it becomes possible to accomplish even the most challenging tasks. Take the example of a person who may feel weak, not only physically but mentally and emotionally. Recognizing one's limitations is the first step to change. Acknowledging that strength is something that can be built over time through consistent effort and practice is empowering. Even the weakest individual, once they understand that improvement comes from effort, will be motivated to begin. This person will start small, adding one bit of effort after another, practicing patience, and slowly building strength. Through persistence, they will grow stronger and stronger, eventually reaching a point where they are resilient and powerful. For instance, think of someone trying to lift weights for the first time. They might feel discouraged at how little they can lift. However, by sticking to a regular training routine, gradually increasing the weights, and staying patient, they will eventually develop muscles they didn't have before. In the same way, when someone's mind is weak, full of doubt or negative thoughts, they can strengthen it by practicing positive thinking, setting goals, and following through on them. Over time, even the weakest thoughts can be replaced by stronger, more focused ones. This applies to our mental and emotional lives as well. A person who is prone to negative thinking or who lacks confidence in their abilities can, through training their thoughts and taking action, become someone who approaches life with strength and purpose. This kind of transformation starts with the decision to give up aimless or weak thoughts and to begin thinking with purpose and direction. Turning weakness into strength. When we let go of aimlessness and instead start focusing our thoughts on meaningful goals, we enter into a group of people who don't let failure stop them. They understand that failure is just a step toward success. People with this mindset use every experience, whether good or bad, to their advantage. Instead of allowing obstacles to discourage them, they see them as opportunities to learn and grow. In other words, they transform challenges into stepping stones for achievement. Consider an entrepreneur starting a new business. The first few months, or even years, may bring financial struggles, mistakes, and setbacks. However, instead of seeing failure as the end of the road, a determined entrepreneur sees it as a lesson. Each failure teaches them something new about their business, their strategy, or the market. With each adjustment, they come closer to success. By thinking with purpose, they don't fear challenges. They use them to strengthen their resolve. In the same way, those who think with purpose don't see any condition as limiting. They refuse to be held back by circumstances, whether that be financial struggles, lack of support, or personal difficulties. They don't make excuses. Instead, they push forward, knowing that each challenge only makes them stronger and more capable. Training the mind, like training the body. The mind can be trained just like the body. If a physically weak person can grow strong through consistent exercise, then it makes sense that a person with weak thoughts can strengthen their mind by practicing positive focused thinking. Think of the mind like a muscle. It gets stronger the more you use it in the right way. Just as lifting weights repeatedly builds physical strength, focusing the mind on positive, goal-oriented thoughts repeatedly will build mental strength. Imagine someone who wants to run a marathon. On their first day, they might struggle to even jog a mile, but with persistence, practice, and a clear goal, they gradually increase their stamina. Eventually, they are able to run long distances with ease. The same principle applies to the mind. At first, someone who struggles with negative thinking or a lack of focus may find it difficult to stay positive or think with purpose. But with consistent effort, their mental stamina will increase. Over time, their thoughts will become stronger, more disciplined, and more aligned with their goals. For example, if a student struggles with studying for long periods, they can train their mind to stay focused. Starting with small study sessions and gradually increasing the time spent on tasks can help the student build their mental endurance. The same goes for someone who struggles with self-doubt. By practicing self-affirmation and focusing on their strengths, they can gradually replace doubt with confidence. The power of purposeful thinking. Purposeful thinking is more than just focusing on a goal. It's about fully committing your thoughts, actions, and energy toward achieving that goal. People who think with purpose are not easily discouraged by failure because they understand that setbacks are part of the journey. They use every challenge as an opportunity to grow, improve, and become stronger. Think of a mountain climber. Every step of the way is challenging, and the higher they climb, the more difficult it gets. But the climber knows that each step brings them closer to the top. Even if they slip or face difficult weather conditions, they don't give up. They keep their focus on the peak and continue climbing, knowing that the effort will be worth it in the end. The same is true for anyone working toward a big goal. Keeping their thoughts focused and directed toward the purpose makes all the difference in reaching the summit. A key part of purposeful thinking is having a clear vision of what you want to achieve. Without a clear goal, it's easy to get distracted or discouraged. But once you set your sights on a specific purpose, it becomes easier to stay motivated, even when things get tough. Overcoming weakness through consistent effort. Weakness is not something that anyone is stuck with. Whether physical, mental, or emotional, weakness can be overcome through consistent effort and practice. Just as a runner builds endurance by running every day, a person builds mental and emotional strength by facing challenges head-on and pushing through them. For instance, think of someone trying to learn a new skill, like playing the piano. At first, it's difficult, and progress is slow. But with daily practice, their fingers become more agile and the notes become easier to play. In time, they are able to play complex pieces effortlessly. Similarly, a person who struggles with anxiety might initially find it hard to face stressful situations. However, with practice, such as through breathing exercises or meditation, they can train their mind to stay calm. Over time, what once caused intense stress may no longer feel overwhelming. This gradual strengthening is a universal principle that applies to all areas of life. Whether it's learning to speak confidently in public, developing emotional resilience in the face of loss, or building physical strength through exercise, the key is consistent effort. Over time, even the weakest person can grow strong. The role of patience and persistence. Patience is another critical factor in developing strength. It's important to remember that real progress doesn't happen overnight. Just as it takes time for a seed to grow into a tree, it takes time to build strength, whether physical, mental, or emotional. Being patient with yourself during the process is essential. Persistence is equally important. There will be days when the progress feels slow or non-existent, but by continuing to push forward, even when it feels like you're not getting anywhere, you are building the internal strength needed to succeed in the long run. For example, someone training for a long-distance race might feel frustrated when their progress plateaus and they don't seem to be getting faster. But by continuing to train, even on days when it feels difficult, they are still building endurance and discipline. Similarly, someone working on improving their mindset might not see immediate results. However, by staying persistent and continuing to practice positive thinking, they are gradually changing their mental habits. When a person identifies their purpose, they should create a clear, straight path in their mind to reach it. This path should remain steady, without distractions or doubts pulling them in different directions. Doubts and fears are like obstacles that weaken your focus and determination. Instead of progressing in a straight line toward your goals, doubt and fear make your journey uncertain, leading you to stray and get lost. These negative emotions don't contribute to success. They only lead to failure. Doubt and fear never build anything, and they never help anyone achieve their dreams. They cloud your mind and stop you from taking the necessary steps toward your goals. Strong thoughts, determination, and the ability to act all disappear when doubt and fear take control. Think of it like a builder working on a house. If the builder is constantly questioning whether the materials are strong enough or whether they are capable of finishing the project, the house will never be completed. Doubt and fear freeze progress. The power to act, what we often call willpower, comes from believing in yourself and knowing that you are capable. When you have confidence in your abilities, you are driven to act. However, doubt and fear are the enemies of confidence and self-belief. They attack your knowledge and make you second-guess yourself at every step. A person who entertains doubts and fears is like someone constantly putting roadblocks on their own path, making the journey toward their goal harder than it needs to be. For instance, imagine an athlete preparing for a race. If they constantly doubt their ability to win, thinking, "What if I'm not fast enough?" Or, "What if I don't make it to the finish line?" their energy and focus will weaken. They might even give up before the race begins. On the other hand, an athlete who pushes aside these doubts and focuses on their training, visualizing success, has a much higher chance of winning. The difference lies in their mindset. Those who overcome doubt and fear are the ones who conquer failure. When doubt and fear are no longer part of your thinking, you can face difficulties head-on. Challenges become opportunities to grow rather than barriers to success. Every challenge is faced with courage, and problems are solved with wisdom and persistence. For example, take a student who is preparing for a big exam. If they approach their studies with fear, thinking they will fail, they won't be able to study effectively. Their mind will be scattered, and they may end up not performing well. But if they approach the exam with a clear purpose, believing in their ability to study hard and succeed, they will prepare with focus and determination. When doubts are removed, success becomes more likely. A person who is free of doubts and fears plants the seeds of their goals in fertile soil, and these seeds grow into strong trees that bear fruit. This fruit represents the results of their efforts, which are long-lasting and fulfilling. However, when doubts and fears control a person's mind, the seeds may sprout, but die before they can bear fruit. In other words, doubt and fear lead to incomplete efforts and missed opportunities. When thoughts are confidently connected to a clear purpose, they become a creative force. Imagine a sculptor with a block of marble. If they are confident in their vision, every strike of their chisel will move them closer to creating a beautiful statue. But if they hesitate with every stroke, doubting whether they can shape the marble properly, the final piece will be flawed or unfinished. Confidence in purpose leads to the creation of something greater. Someone who understands this principle is no longer just a person drifting through life, carried by random thoughts and changing emotions. Instead, they become a powerful individual who consciously uses their mind to achieve great things. They are no longer reacting to life, but are taking charge, directing their thoughts and actions toward a meaningful goal. Take the example of a business owner who wants to grow their company. If they constantly doubt whether their business will succeed or fear taking risks, they will be stuck in place, unable to move forward. However, if they have a clear purpose and work toward it with confidence, every challenge, whether it's financial difficulties, competition, or changes in the market, will be seen as something to overcome rather than something to fear. They will navigate these challenges with determination, finding creative solutions and ultimately growing their business. This idea applies to every area of life. Whether it's a relationship, career, personal growth, or spiritual journey, having a clear purpose and rejecting doubt and fear are essential. Imagine someone trying to improve their health. If they focus on the fear of failure, thinking, "What if I never lose the weight?" or "What if I can't stick to the diet?" they are more likely to quit when things get tough. But if they approach their health goals with a clear plan and confidence, ignoring doubts, they are much more likely to stick to the process and see results over time. To break free from the cycle of doubt and fear, a person must train their mind to stay focused on their purpose. It requires practice to develop this mental discipline, just like it takes practice to build any new skill. Over time, the mind becomes stronger and the person becomes more resilient against negative thoughts. An excellent way to strengthen this mindset is by setting small, achievable goals and celebrating each victory along the way. For example, if someone's goal is to write a book, they can start by writing a single chapter. Once that's completed, they can focus on writing the next. By breaking down the larger goal into smaller, manageable tasks, doubt and fear are less likely to interfere. Another important aspect is surrounding oneself with positive influences. Spending time with people who encourage you and share your belief in your abilities can help keep doubts at bay. On the other hand, Constantly being around negativity or criticism can feed doubts and make it harder to maintain confidence. Lastly, faith and belief in something greater than oneself can be a powerful source of strength. Many people find that their faith gives them the courage to push through doubts and fears, knowing that they are not alone in their journey. Whether through prayer, meditation, or reflection, connecting to a higher purpose can be a guiding light when doubts try to creep in. In summary, when you remove doubt and fear from your mind, you create space for confidence, creativity, and purposeful action. You become the driver of your life, not just a passenger reacting to circumstances. By staying focused on your purpose and believing in your ability to achieve it, you unlock the full power of your mind and spirit. With this mindset, challenges become opportunities, and every step brings you closer to your goals. Just like a tree planted in good soil, your efforts will grow and bear fruit, leading to lasting success and fulfillment. Chapter 5. The Thought Factor in Achievement. Everything a person achieves or fails to achieve is a direct result of their own thoughts. In a perfectly balanced universe, where even the slightest imbalance would lead to chaos, it is essential to recognize that individual responsibility is absolute. Every person's strengths and weaknesses, purity and impurity, are entirely their own. These qualities are created by the individual, not imposed by others, and only that person has the power to change them. Similarly, a person's life circumstances, whether they involve suffering or happiness, stem from their inner world. As a person thinks, so they become. As they continue to think in a certain way, their life follows that same path. One person cannot help another unless that individual truly desires change. Even when assistance is accepted, the weaker person must ultimately find their strength through their own efforts. A person can admire the strength in others, but only by developing it within themselves can they change their situation. No one else can alter a person's condition. It is a personal journey of growth and self-improvement. In society, people often fall into the trap of blaming others for their hardships. It is common to hear, "Many are oppressed because one person is an oppressor. Let's hate the oppressor." However, a growing number of people are beginning to shift their perspective. Instead of focusing on the oppressor, they now say, "One person is an oppressor because many allow themselves to be oppressed. Let's pity those who submit to oppression." In reality, both the oppressor and the oppressed are locked in a cycle of ignorance. They seem to harm each other, but in truth, they are harming themselves. A deeper understanding reveals that the weakness of the oppressed and the misuse of power by the oppressor are both driven by the same lack of awareness. A wise person who truly understands the workings of the universe sees both sides with compassion. They recognize the suffering that comes with both oppression and submission and judge neither party. Instead, they embrace both with a spirit of love and understanding. A person who has conquered their own weaknesses and discarded selfish thoughts belongs to neither the oppressor nor the oppressed. Such a person is truly free, unshackled by the limitations that bind others. Thoughts shape our lives. The quality of our thoughts directly shapes the quality of our lives. If we want to rise above our current circumstances, achieve great things, and find happiness, we must start by lifting our thoughts. By cultivating positive, empowering, and constructive thoughts, we elevate ourselves. On the other hand, by dwelling on negative, disempowering, and harmful thoughts, we remain stuck in a state of weakness, misery, and failure. The mind is a powerful tool, and the direction we guide it determines our future. Take, for example, a person who constantly tells themselves, "I will never succeed," or "I am not good enough." These thoughts create an inner reality of doubt, insecurity, and fear. Over time, this mindset manifests outwardly, leading to missed opportunities, failure to take risks, and a general sense of defeat. The person becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. But if this same individual shifts their thoughts to, "I am capable, I will keep trying," and "every challenge is a stepping stone to success," they begin to change their life. Their new mindset pushes them to take action, seek opportunities, and overcome obstacles with resilience. The power of personal responsibility. Personal responsibility is at the core of this philosophy. Every person must take full ownership of their thoughts and actions. While external circumstances can influence us, they do not control us. Our inner responses and how we choose to think about situations are within our control. This is a liberating truth because it means that regardless of where we start in life, we have the power to shape our future. Consider the story of individuals who rise from difficult circumstances. Many successful people began their lives in poverty or faced immense challenges. What sets them apart is not their environment, but their mindset. They refused to let their hardships define them. Instead, they adopted empowering beliefs and used their thoughts to create a better future. Oprah Winfrey, for example, grew up in poverty and faced numerous struggles, but her determination and belief in herself allowed her to become one of the most successful and influential figures in the world. On the other hand, there are people born into wealth and privilege who, due to a negative mindset, squander their advantages. This highlights the fact that it is not external conditions that determine success, but how we choose to think about and respond to them. The relationship between thought and achievement. Achievement in any area of life is deeply connected to the quality of our thoughts. Whether we are pursuing professional success, personal growth, or fulfilling relationships, our thoughts set the foundation for what we accomplish. Let's take an athlete, for example. A top-level athlete doesn't only rely on physical training. Their mental state plays a crucial role in their success. If they approach a competition with doubt or fear, their performance will likely suffer. But if they enter the competition with confidence, focus, and positive visualization, their chances of winning increase dramatically. The same is true in business, education, and personal development. Successful entrepreneurs often talk about the importance of mindset. A business owner who thinks creatively, stays optimistic in the face of challenges, and believes in their vision is more likely to succeed than one who constantly worries about failure. Innovation, persistence, and resilience are all rooted in the way we think. The role of effort in changing our thoughts. While our thoughts are powerful, changing them is not always easy. It takes conscious effort and practice to shift from a negative to a positive mindset. This is where personal discipline comes into play. Just as a person must train their body to become physically strong, they must also train their mind to become mentally strong. Meditation, positive affirmations, and surrounding oneself with supportive, encouraging people are some of the ways we can begin to change our thoughts. Every time a negative thought arises, we can challenge it and replace it with a positive one. Over time, this practice reshapes our inner world, and as our inner world changes, so does our outer reality. For instance, consider someone struggling with low self-esteem. If they make a conscious decision to work on their thoughts, they might start by writing down affirmations such as, "I am worthy, I am capable, and I deserve happiness." By repeating these daily and focusing on their strengths, they gradually begin to see themselves in a new light. Their confidence grows, and this newfound self-assurance affects how they interact with others, pursue opportunities, and overcome challenges. Breaking the cycle of blame. In today's world, it's easy to fall into the trap of blaming others for our circumstances. Whether it's our family, our boss, or society at large, we often look outside ourselves for reasons why we're unhappy or unfulfilled. But this mindset keeps us trapped in a cycle of powerlessness. When we place the blame on others, we give away our power to change. Taking responsibility for our thoughts and actions is the first step in reclaiming our power. When we stop blaming others and start looking within, we realize that we have the ability to change our situation. This doesn't mean external factors don't play a role, but it means we stop being victims of our circumstances and become creators of our destiny. For example, someone who loses their job might be tempted to blame their employer, the economy, or bad luck. However, a person who takes responsibility would instead ask themselves, "What can I learn from this? And how can I use this experience to grow?" This shift in perspective turns a setback into an opportunity for growth. The freedom to choose. Ultimately, we are free to choose our thoughts. This is both a great responsibility and a great privilege. The thoughts we choose to entertain shape our lives, for better or worse. When we understand this truth, we realize that we hold the keys to our own happiness, success, and fulfillment. By consistently lifting our thoughts to higher levels, we elevate our lives. As we discard negative thinking and embrace positive, empowering beliefs, we align ourselves with the forces of growth and achievement. In doing so, we free ourselves from the chains of weakness and rise to our full potential. Before a person can achieve anything significant, even in worldly matters such as business or personal success, they must first elevate their thinking beyond indulgence in base desires and animalistic tendencies. To succeed, one doesn't have to entirely abandon all selfishness or instincts, but they must let go of a portion of it, at the very least. A person whose primary focus is on immediate gratification or self-centered desires cannot think with clarity, nor can they plan with any level of precision. Their mind is clouded, making it difficult to unlock their hidden potential and use the resources they possess. As a result, they would likely fail in any meaningful endeavor because they haven't taken the first step of learning to control their own thoughts. The control of one's thoughts is a prerequisite to controlling their circumstances. A person who hasn't learned to manage their thoughts is not ready to manage responsibilities or take on serious challenges. They are unprepared to act independently, make sound decisions, or stand strong in the face of challenges. Instead, they are ruled by their impulses, which keeps them limited. These limits are self-imposed, determined by the quality and direction of the thoughts they choose to entertain. Progress and achievement require sacrifice. Without giving up something, there can be no forward movement. This is a universal principle that applies in both small and large matters. A person's success in the world will directly reflect how much they are willing to sacrifice the chaotic, self-serving thoughts that keep them stagnant. By focusing their mind on planning, cultivating their willpower, and building self-reliance, they set the foundation for growth. The more a person works to elevate their thinking, to become more thoughtful, responsible, and upright, the more success they will attract. The higher the quality of their thoughts, the more fruitful and enduring their achievements will be. This idea can be seen throughout history. When we look at the lives of successful people, we often find that their greatest accomplishments came after periods of self-discipline and personal sacrifice. Take, for example, the story of a successful entrepreneur. Initially, they might have struggled with procrastination or self-doubt, indulging in distractions and not taking their dreams seriously. But as soon as they made the decision to focus their mind, to sacrifice short-term pleasures for long-term goals, their journey toward success began. They learned to prioritize their work over immediate gratification, and that shift in mindset paved the way for their accomplishments. The universe operates by principles that favor those who align themselves with higher virtues. While it may sometimes seem, at least on the surface, that the greedy or dishonest get ahead, this success is often temporary. The foundations of such achievements are weak because they are built on selfishness, dishonesty, or vice. Eventually, these actions catch up with them, leading to failure or unhappiness. On the other hand, the universe consistently rewards those who act with integrity, generosity, and virtue. Even if their success is slower to manifest, it is more sustainable and fulfilling in the long run. This is not just a spiritual belief, but a practical reality. For instance, in the world of business, an honest entrepreneur who builds their company on trust and quality service may take longer to reach the top. However, their reputation for integrity creates a loyal customer base and long-term success. Compare this to someone who may cheat or cut corners to get ahead quickly. They may experience a brief moment of triumph, but eventually their dishonesty will come to light, and they will lose the trust of those around them. All the great spiritual teachers throughout history have taught this same principle in different ways. Whether it's Jesus Christ, Buddha, or other enlightened figures, they've emphasized that virtue leads to lasting success and fulfillment. Jesus, for example, taught the value of humility, selflessness, and service to others, which are all forms of elevating one's thoughts. When a person persists in lifting their thoughts to align with such principles, they naturally start to manifest a life that reflects those higher ideals. Consider the example of a student working toward a challenging academic goal. If the student is primarily concerned with partying, hanging out with friends, or procrastinating, their studies will suffer. They may scrape by in their exams, but they will never unlock their full potential. On the other hand, if the student sacrifices some of their leisure time to focus on studying, improving their skills, and staying disciplined, they will achieve far more in the long run. Their sacrifice of momentary pleasure leads to a greater reward: success in their studies and the opportunity to pursue their dreams. In every field of human endeavor, from sports to art to business, the same principle applies. Athletes who aim to excel must sacrifice their comfort, waking up early for training and adhering to a strict routine. Artists who create masterpieces often spend long hours honing their craft, sacrificing time they could have spent on entertainment. In both cases, it is the willingness to give up lower pleasures that makes room for higher achievement. Ultimately, the universe helps those who help themselves by cultivating virtue. This is not just about being morally good, but about being aligned with truth and righteousness in a practical sense. To be virtuous means to act in ways that are productive, disciplined, and beneficial to both oneself and others. The more a person commits to this path of elevated thought, the more opportunities open up for them, and the more they can accomplish. They become like a magnet for success because their thoughts are aligned with the natural laws of progress and achievement. Take another example from the life of a farmer. If a farmer is lazy and indulgent, neglecting their fields in favor of idleness, their crops will fail. The harvest will be poor, and they will have little to show for their efforts. However, if the farmer works diligently, sacrifices their comfort by waking early and laboring in the fields, they will reap a bountiful harvest. The same applies to the field of the mind. When a person sows seeds of discipline, clarity, and purpose, they are setting the stage for a rich harvest of success. In essence, personal achievement, whether in business, relationships, or personal growth, is directly related to one's ability to sacrifice lower thoughts and embrace higher ones. Success is not just about hard work. It's about cultivating the right mindset. It's about lifting your thoughts above selfish desires and animalistic indulgence, focusing instead on your goals and making choices that reflect your highest values. As you do this, you align yourself with the forces of the universe that support growth, achievement, and lasting success. Every small act of discipline and sacrifice is a step toward greatness. By committing to the development of your mind and spirit, you set yourself on a path of progress that leads to not only worldly success, but also a deeper sense of fulfillment and purpose in life. Intellectual achievements are the result of focused and dedicated thinking, aimed at gaining knowledge or understanding the beauty and truth that exist in life and nature. These achievements may sometimes be linked with pride or the desire for recognition, but they do not come from these traits. Instead, they are the natural outcome of hard work, persistence, and pure, unselfish thinking. To truly achieve in the intellectual realm, one must commit to continuous learning and exploration, which requires time and effort. It's important to note that real intellectual success is not driven by personal ego or selfish ambition, but by a genuine love for discovery and truth. For instance, when we look at the lives of great thinkers like Albert Einstein or Marie Curie, their accomplishments were not motivated by a desire for fame, but by a passion for understanding the world around them. Einstein spent years developing his theories on relativity, not to boost his reputation, but because he was deeply curious about the laws of the universe. Similarly, Curie's groundbreaking work in radioactivity stemmed from a desire to learn more about the natural world and to use that knowledge for the betterment of humanity. Their intellectual achievements were the results of focused thought, perseverance, and a selfless dedication to the pursuit of truth. In a broader sense, intellectual growth also comes from being open-minded and willing to challenge one's own assumptions. Growth happens when you engage with new ideas, reflect on your own beliefs, and remain committed to seeking understanding. This means that intellectual success is not a sudden event, but the product of long-term dedication and the willingness to embrace challenges. Spiritual achievements, on the other hand, come from the realization of deep, holy desires. These achievements occur when someone lives with noble and high-minded thoughts, continuously focusing on purity, kindness, and selflessness. Just as the sun rises to its peak or the moon grows full, A person who lives with such thoughts will eventually develop wisdom, nobility, and a strong, influential character. This kind of spiritual success leads to a life filled with blessing and meaning. Take, for example, the lives of individuals like Mother Teresa or Mahatma Gandhi. Their spiritual achievements were rooted in a commitment to helping others and living by moral principles. Mother Teresa's life was dedicated to serving the poor and needy, and her spiritual journey was marked by selflessness and compassion. She rose to a position of influence and inspiration not through seeking power, but by living out her noble aspirations. Gandhi, too, focused on living a life of truth and nonviolence, holding on to his spiritual ideals even when it was difficult. His spiritual achievements came not through seeking recognition, but by holding firm to his beliefs and acting in accordance with them. Spiritual growth, much like intellectual growth, requires effort. It is a process of constantly refining one's thoughts, actions, and attitudes toward goodness. Those who achieve spiritual success do so through consistent dedication to principles like love, compassion, and forgiveness. Achievement in any form, whether intellectual, spiritual, or otherwise, is the reward for sustained effort and focused thinking. It is the crown that one earns after overcoming challenges and working diligently toward a goal. Achievements are not random. They are the natural result of disciplined thoughts and actions. By practicing self-control, making firm decisions, maintaining purity, and striving for righteousness, a person can rise to new heights. On the other hand, by indulging in base desires, laziness, impurity, and confusion of thought, one will inevitably fall into decline. A clear example of this can be seen in athletes. To reach the peak of their career, athletes must practice intense self-discipline and focus on their training and health. Olympic gold medalists, for instance, spend years honing their skills, pushing their bodies and minds to the limits to achieve success. Their achievements are not accidental, but are the culmination of daily effort, strong willpower, and a clear, well-directed mindset. On the other hand, athletes who give in to laziness or allow themselves to be distracted by negative influences are less likely to achieve their goals. The same applies to those who succeed in business or personal development. Entrepreneurs like Steve Jobs or Oprah Winfrey reached their levels of success not only because of talent, but because of their determination, clear vision, and the ability to maintain focus despite challenges. They practiced self-control, stayed committed to their goals, and constantly refined their thoughts and actions to reach their full potential. In contrast, we also see how a lack of discipline and clear thought can lead to failure. When people give in to distractions, indulgences, or harmful habits, they drift away from their potential and miss out on the achievements they could have attained. Indulgence in negative behaviors such as procrastination, dishonesty, or unhealthy habits leads to a gradual decline, both intellectually and spiritually. Ultimately, true achievement in life comes from disciplined effort, focused thought, and pure intentions. Whether striving for intellectual understanding or spiritual growth, success is a process that requires dedication, self-control, and a genuine desire to rise above selfish motives. Those who remain committed to their goals, continue to develop their thoughts and actions, and focus on what is noble and true will inevitably find themselves rising to higher levels of achievement and fulfillment. A person may achieve great success in life, rising to high levels of accomplishment in their career, personal goals, or even in their spiritual journey. However, this success can be short-lived if they allow pride, selfishness, and negative thoughts to dominate their mind. Success, whether in the material world or the spiritual realm, requires a pure and focused mindset. When a person's thoughts become corrupted by arrogance or greed, they often find themselves falling back into a state of weakness, dissatisfaction, or even failure. The key to sustaining success is in maintaining the right mindset and staying vigilant against harmful thoughts. It's not uncommon for people to become complacent once they've achieved a certain level of success. They might think that they no longer need to be as careful with their thoughts or actions, believing that their success is permanent. However, this is a mistake. Success is not something that can be taken for granted. It requires constant effort and attention. Many people, after achieving their goals, stop paying attention to the thoughts that helped them succeed in the first place. As a result, they slowly start to lose the ground they've gained, falling back into bad habits or negative thinking. This decline can lead to failure if they are not careful. In any area of life, whether it's in business, education, relationships, or spiritual growth, success follows the same basic principles. The thoughts a person holds in their mind are the driving force behind their achievements. Success is not just about hard work or luck. It is about the power of focused and intentional thinking. A person who sets their mind on a specific goal and consistently works toward it with the right attitude is more likely to succeed. The process of achievement is similar across different fields, and the only real difference is the goal itself. Whether a person is striving for financial success, intellectual growth, or spiritual enlightenment, the same rule applies. Focused, positive thinking leads to results. For example, a business person who wants to succeed must first believe in their ability to succeed. They must think strategically, plan carefully, and stay committed to their goals. Likewise, a student who aims for academic success must think positively about their ability to learn, stay disciplined in their studies, and persevere even when things get tough. In the spiritual realm, a person who wants to grow in their faith must keep their thoughts pure, stay humble, and focus on their spiritual practices. A key lesson in life is that success comes with sacrifice. A person who wishes to accomplish only small things must be willing to give up a little bit. For instance, someone who wants to improve their health might sacrifice certain unhealthy habits like overeating or being sedentary. On the other hand, if a person desires significant success, they must be ready to make bigger sacrifices. For example, an entrepreneur building a business might have to sacrifice their leisure time, invest long hours into their work, or take financial risks. Those who aim for the highest levels of success, whether in their career, their personal life, or their spiritual path, must be prepared for even greater sacrifices. For example, a person striving to attain spiritual enlightenment may have to give up material attachments, practice self-discipline, and dedicate time to meditation or prayer. This kind of sacrifice is not easy, but it is necessary for those who wish to achieve their highest potential. Consider the life of someone like Thomas Edison, the famous inventor. Edison didn't just rely on his intelligence to succeed. He also had to sacrifice countless hours of his time and endure many failures before he achieved success with the invention of the light bulb. His achievement wasn't the result of luck. It came from focused thought, persistence, and the willingness to make sacrifices. In the realm of personal development, let's take the example of someone who wants to break free from a bad habit, like smoking. The individual will not only need to change their behavior, but also their mindset. They have to sacrifice the immediate gratification that smoking may bring, replacing it with the long-term benefits of better health and a clearer mind. The thoughts they maintain, such as focusing on the benefits of quitting, are crucial to their success. It's a battle of the mind, and those who win this battle achieve real and lasting success. In spiritual matters, the idea of sacrifice is often linked to deeper personal growth. For example, in many religious traditions, people are encouraged to give up things that hold them back spiritually, whether it's excessive attachment to material possessions, negative emotions like anger and envy, or selfish desires. By sacrificing these things, they make room for peace, love, and spiritual enlightenment in their lives. A great spiritual leader like Mother Teresa, for instance, sacrificed the comforts of a normal life to serve the poor, demonstrating that great spiritual achievement often requires great sacrifice. In summary, success in any area of life, be it business, personal growth, or spiritual development, is not accidental. It is the result of focused, positive thinking, and it requires sacrifice. The level of success a person attains is directly related to the amount they are willing to give up. A small goal requires a small sacrifice, while a lofty goal demands greater sacrifices. To maintain success, one must stay vigilant, watching their thoughts and actions carefully. Letting pride, greed, or laziness slip in can quickly undo all the progress that has been made. Success, therefore, is not just about reaching a goal, but about maintaining the discipline and mindset that got you there. Only through continuous effort, watchfulness, and sacrifice can a person hold on to their achievements and continue to grow. Chapter 6. Visions and Ideals. Dreamers are the true saviors of the world. Just as the visible world is supported by the invisible forces we can't see, people are carried through their struggles, sins, and difficult jobs by the inspiring visions of dreamers. Even in times of hardship and difficulty, humanity holds on to its dreamers. Their ideals, their hope, creativity, and ideas are what keep humanity moving forward. The world will never forget its dreamers because they represent the future. People look to them, believing their dreams will eventually come true and change the world for the better. Throughout history, individuals with grand visions have shaped the course of civilization. These visionaries, whether composers, sculptors, painters, poets, prophets, or wise philosophers, create something lasting and meaningful. They are the architects of a better world, shaping the future with their art, creativity, and deep wisdom. They paint the beauty of life, offering hope and inspiration to generations. The world is beautiful because these dreamers have lived among us. Without them, humanity would feel lost, consumed by routine and the grind of everyday life. The power of a vision cannot be overstated. If someone holds on to a beautiful idea or an ideal in their heart, they will eventually realize it in some form. A famous example is Christopher Columbus. He carried a vision of discovering new lands, and despite challenges, he ultimately found the New World. Columbus's drive came from his inner vision, a belief that there was something greater out there, beyond the horizon. Similarly, Nicholas Copernicus, the astronomer, envisioned a universe much larger than anyone else had imagined. His ideas reshaped how humanity viewed the world and its place in the cosmos. Copernicus opened people's minds to the vastness of space, teaching them that Earth was not the center of everything, but just a small part of a larger universe. There is also the story of Siddhartha Gautama, known as Buddha. He held a vision of a peaceful spiritual world filled with beauty and tranquility. His inner drive for wisdom led him on a journey to enlightenment, and he achieved a state of perfect peace. Buddha's vision was not just for himself. It became a guiding light for millions of people seeking inner peace and spiritual growth. His teachings about compassion, meditation, and the path to spiritual enlightenment have shaped the lives of countless individuals. These examples show the transformative power of visions and ideals. They are not just idle dreams or fantasies. When deeply cherished and pursued with dedication, visions have the power to reshape reality. Whether it's discovering new worlds, revolutionizing how we see the universe, or achieving spiritual awakening, these grand ideals can become the blueprint for change in the world. In our everyday lives, many of us hold visions and dreams that guide us forward. It may not be as monumental as the discoveries of Columbus or Copernicus, but personal dreams still matter. A person might dream of starting a business, creating a work of art, or helping others through community service. These dreams drive people to action, inspiring them to overcome obstacles and pursue their goals. For example, someone who dreams of becoming a doctor is motivated by their desire to heal others and make a difference in people's lives. Their vision of a better, healthier world pushes them through the many years of education and hard work required to become a medical professional. Furthermore, dreams are not limited to personal success or achievement. They can also take the form of ideals that aim to improve society as a whole. Many social reformers, activists, and leaders throughout history have pursued visions of justice, equality, and freedom. Martin Luther King Jr., for instance, famously shared his vision of a world where people would be judged not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. This vision fueled the civil rights movement in the United States and continues to inspire people around the world today. It is important to recognize that the process of turning a vision into reality is often filled with challenges. Those who pursue their ideals frequently face opposition, skepticism, and setbacks. Yet, it is their perseverance that ultimately makes the difference. A dreamer who truly believes in their vision will continue to push forward, even when the road seems difficult. Thomas Edison, for example, faced countless failures before inventing the electric light bulb. However, his belief in the power of his vision kept him moving forward, and his persistence eventually paid off, changing the course of history with his inventions. To nurture a vision, one must be both patient and resilient. It takes time to bring a dream to life, and setbacks are part of the process. But with determination and a clear sense of purpose, individuals can overcome obstacles and see their visions realized. Sometimes, the journey itself, filled with challenges and growth, is as important as the final outcome. Moreover, dreams and ideals serve as a source of hope, not just for the dreamer, but for others around them. They show us what is possible, what we can aspire to, and how we can push the boundaries of what is achievable. In a world filled with uncertainties, fear, and struggles, the visions of dreamers offer a beacon of light. They remind us that we are capable of more, that we can rise above our current circumstances, and that we can create a better future. In essence, visions and ideals are vital to the progress of humanity. They inspire individuals to push beyond their limitations and create lasting change in the world. Whether through the work of artists, scientists, spiritual leaders, or everyday people, these dreams shape the world we live in. As we continue to dream and hold on to our ideals, we carry forward the legacy of those who have come before us, building a brighter and more hopeful future for all. Cherish your dreams and ideals. Hold on to your visions and treasure your ideals. Appreciate the music that stirs deep within your heart, the beautiful images that form in your mind, and the purity of your highest thoughts. These things are not just fleeting feelings or ideas, they are the seeds of the future you will create. From these cherished dreams and thoughts, a life full of beauty, happiness, and fulfillment will grow. If you stay faithful to them, they will eventually shape your reality. The world you live in will be built upon the foundation of your thoughts and dreams. When you desire something, you are setting in motion the steps to obtain it. When you aspire for something higher, you are moving closer to achieving it. It's often said, "Ask and you shall receive." And this is true in life. But this doesn't only apply to material things or basic desires. It also applies to the deepest longings of your heart and soul. It's easy to see how people satisfy their baser desires, whether that's through wealth, power, or indulgence. But why should the nobler aspirations, like love, kindness, and personal growth, go unfulfilled? The universe operates on a higher law, a law that rewards both physical desires and spiritual aspirations. The law of attraction and fulfillment. There's a law in the universe that says, you get what you focus on. This law is about balance. If you focus on your lower desires, you may receive them, but if you focus on your higher, purer aspirations, those will also come to life. It's not about denying yourself pleasure or ambition, but about feeding your soul the right kind of sustenance. If you starve your higher self by focusing only on material gain or selfish goals, your life will feel empty in the long run. However, if you nourish your mind and spirit with lofty goals, those will lead to fulfillment beyond what material success can offer. For example, think of someone who dreams of becoming wealthy. If that's their only focus, they might eventually accumulate wealth, but without purpose, they might feel unfulfilled. On the other hand, someone who dreams of making the world a better place, whether through art, charity, or innovation, may not only find success, but also a deep sense of satisfaction and happiness. This is the power of balancing both the desires of the heart and the needs of the body. Dream big and watch your dreams become reality. Dream big dreams because your dreams are the blueprint of your future. As you dream, you are planting the seeds of what you will one day become. Your vision is like a map, showing you the way to the life you are meant to live. Your ideals, those things you believe in deeply, are the prophecy of the person you will eventually become. Every great achievement in history started with a dream. For example, think about the inventions that changed the world: the airplane, the light bulb, or the internet. These incredible advancements started as mere ideas in someone's mind. At one point, they were just dreams, but through determination and hard work, they became a reality. Just like the oak tree that grows from a tiny acorn or the bird that hatches from an egg, your dreams are the seeds of your future success. They may seem small and insignificant at first, but with time and effort, they can grow into something great. Consider the story of Walt Disney. As a young man, Disney was told by many people that his ideas for animated films would never work. But he had a vision. He dreamed of creating a world where people could escape into magical stories and worlds. He held on to that dream despite numerous failures, and today, Disney is one of the most successful entertainment companies in the world. His dream became a reality because he believed in it, nurtured it, and never gave up. The power of faith and perseverance. It's important to remember that dreams are not enough on their own. You must remain true to them, even when faced with difficulties. The road to achieving your dreams is often long and challenging, but perseverance is key. When challenges arise, it's easy to lose sight of your vision. You may be tempted to give up or settle for less than what you truly desire. But if you remain faithful to your ideals and continue to pursue your dreams with determination, you will eventually achieve them. Take the story of Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb. Edison famously failed thousands of times before successfully inventing a working light bulb. Each failure could have discouraged him, but he saw each one as a step closer to success. His vision of bringing light to the world kept him going. Edison's story teaches us that failure is not the end. It's part of the journey to success. If you hold on to your vision and stay committed to it, you will eventually see it come to life. Nurturing the seeds of your dreams. Your dreams and ideals are like seeds planted in the garden of your mind. Just as a gardener must water and care for seeds to help them grow, you must nurture your dreams with action, focus, and determination. It's not enough to simply have a dream. You must actively work towards making it a reality. This means taking steps every day that bring you closer to your goals, no matter how small those steps may seem. For instance, if your dream is to become a writer, you must practice writing regularly. You can't expect to become a great writer overnight, but by dedicating time to improve your craft each day, you will eventually see progress. Similarly, if your dream is to help others, you must find ways to serve and give back. It may start small, like volunteering in your community, but over time your efforts will grow and you will begin to make a bigger impact. The power of dreams. Dreams are the foundation of everything you want to achieve in life. They are the silent, subtle forces that guide you toward your greatest potential. Your vision, ideals, and aspirations are not just random thoughts. They are the seeds that, with time, will grow into your future. Whether your dream is to improve yourself, create something new, or make a difference in the world, cherish it. Nurture it. Stay true to it. And one day, you will see it come to life. Just like the oak tree that starts as an acorn, or the bird that begins as an egg, your dreams hold the promise of what you can become. So dream big, stay faithful to your vision, and never give up, for your dreams are the seedlings of reality. Your current situation may be less than ideal, but it will not stay that way if you can envision a goal and work toward it. You cannot grow internally without it showing externally. Imagine a young person, weighed down by poverty and long hours of hard work in an unhealthy environment. He has little education and no exposure to refinement or the finer things in life. Yet, in his mind, he dreams of something better. He thinks about becoming more intelligent, refined, graceful, and surrounded by beauty. He starts to form a vision of a better life, a life where he has more freedom and opportunities. This vision takes hold of him, and he feels restless, pushing him to act. Even with limited time and resources, he uses what little he has to develop his hidden talents and abilities. As his mindset changes, his surroundings begin to feel out of sync with his new way of thinking. The workshop where he once spent his days now feels limiting and restrictive. It no longer fits the person he is becoming, so he moves on, shedding that part of his life like an old coat. New opportunities begin to align with his expanding skills, and he steps into a new phase of life, leaving the workshop behind for good. Years later, we see that once struggling youth as a grown man. He has mastered certain mental strengths, using them to influence people around the world. He holds great responsibilities, and when he speaks, lives are transformed. People look to him for guidance, hanging on his every word. Like the sun, he becomes a source of light and stability, around which many lives and destinies revolve. He has turned his youthful vision into a reality, and has become one with his ideal. You too, dear reader, can bring the vision of your heart to life, whether that vision is noble or flawed, or a mix of both. Because you will always be drawn to what you love most deep inside. Your life will reflect the thoughts you nurture. The exact results of your thinking will come to you, you'll receive what you earn, no more and no less. No matter your current circumstances, you will rise, fall, or remain the same according to your thoughts, your vision, and your ideals. You will become as small as your most basic desires or as great as your highest aspirations. As Stanton Kirkham Davis beautifully puts it, you may be keeping accounts now, but one day you will walk out of the door that seemed to hold back your dreams. You will find yourself in front of an audience, the pen still behind your ear, ink stains on your fingers, and in that moment you will unleash the flood of inspiration inside you. Or you may be tending sheep, wandering into the city with wide eyes, where the Spirit will guide you to the studio of a master. After some time, the master will tell you, "I have nothing more to teach you," and at that point, you will have become the master. Once, you dreamed of greatness while driving sheep. Now, you lay down your tools and take up the task of transforming the world. This story serves as a powerful reminder that external conditions do not define us. The young man in the workshop could have accepted his circumstances, believing they were his fate, but he chose to look inward, toward a better future. And because of that, he transcended his environment. His vision gave him the strength to break free from limitations. This demonstrates that no matter where you start, your circumstances can change if you believe in something greater and take action toward it. Take another example. Consider someone who feels trapped in a dead-end job, but instead of accepting it as their only option, they begin to dream of a better career, one that aligns with their passions and skills. Perhaps they take night classes, spend weekends building new expertise, or use every spare moment to work toward a future they believe in. Over time, they outgrow their current job, and new doors begin to open. The job they once felt trapped in becomes just a memory, and they step into a role that matches their newfound abilities and aspirations. This is the power of vision and perseverance. You don't have to remain where you are, and you don't have to be confined by your current limitations. Like the youth in the workshop, you can rise above your circumstances if you're willing to cultivate a vision of something better and put in the work to achieve it. Your thoughts have a tremendous impact on your life. What you think about, focus on, and believe in becomes the foundation of the future you build. The concept of mental creation, the idea that you first build something in your mind before it manifests in reality, is key here. Whether it's improving your life, career, or personal growth, it all starts with the thoughts you allow to shape your beliefs. When you think of yourself as capable of more, your mind begins to expand. You start seeking out opportunities that align with your new mindset. Small changes begin to happen as you move closer to your ideal. Another powerful example is an athlete who grows up in a rough neighborhood. His days are spent struggling against the hardships of life, and it would be easy to believe he could never amount to much. But inside, he dreams of greatness. He envisions himself standing on the podium, winning races, and achieving victory. Instead of letting his environment define him, he dedicates every free moment to training, working on his strength and endurance. Slowly but surely, his efforts pay off. He rises above the challenges of his neighborhood, becomes a champion, and lives the life he once only dreamed about. In much the same way, whatever your life situation may be, you are not bound by it forever. Your mind is the starting point of change. What you focus on mentally will eventually shape the reality around you. You are capable of more than you know, and the key to unlocking that potential is to create a vision and relentlessly pursue it. The truth is, life will always reflect what you most deeply think about and strive for. If you focus on scarcity, struggle, and limitation, that is what your life will show you. But if you focus on abundance, growth, and possibility, you will begin to see those things take shape. The universe has a way of aligning with the energy you put out, and your consistent efforts will eventually bring about the change you desire. To wrap this up, understand that your vision is not just a wish. It must be something you are deeply committed to and willing to work for. The young man in the story didn't just dream idly, he acted on his dream. He used every resource he had, even when they seemed small, to better himself. Similarly, you must be dedicated to your vision. Take time to reflect on what you truly want for your life. Let that vision guide you in your thoughts and actions. With perseverance and belief in your own ability, you can transcend any limitation and create the life you dream of. The misconception of luck, chance, and fortune. Many people who are careless in their thinking, lacking in knowledge, or simply lazy often only see the surface of life's outcomes. They focus on the results, not the journey or the causes behind them. They talk about luck, fortune, and chance, assuming that some people are just naturally fortunate. For example, when they see someone become wealthy, they exclaim, "Wow, he's so lucky." If they notice another person becoming highly intellectual or knowledgeable, they might say, "He must have been born smart," or "He's so favored." When they observe someone with a saintly, influential character, they remark, "Everything seems to go right for him." What they don't realize is that behind each of these success stories there are years of hard work, countless failures, and immense personal sacrifices. These people have willingly faced challenges, stumbled many times, and had to persevere through difficult moments to gain their experience and reach their goals. The onlookers don't see the sleepless nights, the heartbreaks, the endless hours of learning, or the uncertainty. They only see the result, the light, the joy, the success, and wrongly call it luck. It's easy to focus on someone's success without considering the long, painful journey that led them there. When we see someone achieving something great, we might assume they were just in the right place at the right time or had some external advantage. But in reality, those who succeed often do so because of relentless determination, a refusal to give up, and a strong vision for their future. The role of effort in success. In everything we do, there is always a cause and an effect. An effort that leads to a result. The strength of the effort you put in will determine the outcome. In other words, the more focused and consistent your work, the greater your success will be. There is no such thing as chance when it comes to achievement. Whether it's wealth, intelligence, or spiritual growth, these are not gifts handed out by fate. Instead, they are the direct results of dedication, persistence, and mental focus. All these gifts, whether material wealth, intellectual accomplishments, or spiritual growth, are the fruits of effort. They don't come by accident, but by design. These are the goals people have envisioned, worked for, and eventually realized. Take, for example, a businessman who builds a successful company. Outsiders may think, he got lucky with his business, or he just happened to be in the right market. What they fail to see are the countless hours that went into researching the market, developing the product, and building the team. They don't see the risks taken, the personal sacrifices made, or the challenges faced. The businessman didn't rely on luck. He created his own success through focused effort and persistence. Building life through vision and belief. What we focus on mentally and what we hold as important in our hearts shapes our lives. If you consistently visualize success, focus on positive outcomes, and build strong ideals within yourself, those things will eventually manifest in your life. This is not because of luck or chance, but because your thoughts and beliefs shape your actions, which in turn shape your reality. Think of someone who dreams of becoming a successful artist. Every day, they spend hours practicing, refining their skills, and seeking out inspiration. Even when facing rejection and criticism, they don't give up because they believe in their vision. Eventually, their hard work pays off and they achieve success. People on the outside may say they were born talented, or they were in the right place at the right time. However, the reality is that their success was built on years of focused effort and unwavering belief in their vision. This principle applies to all areas of life, whether you want to excel in your career, improve your relationships, or grow spiritually. The key is to have a clear vision of what you want and then work steadily toward it. The people who seem to be lucky or fortunate are often those who have spent years quietly working toward their goals, overcoming obstacles, and maintaining their focus despite difficulties, overcoming the illusion of instant success. We live in a world where instant gratification is often prioritized. People want to see quick results and may feel discouraged if they don't succeed immediately. This mentality reinforces the idea of luck and chance. However, true success is rarely immediate. It's the result of sustained effort over time. For example, athletes who perform at the top of their game didn't just wake up one day and become world-class. Behind every victory is a long history of disciplined training, mental toughness, and overcoming setbacks. The same applies to successful entrepreneurs, scholars, or spiritual leaders. The results we admire often take years, if not decades, to achieve. An author who publishes a best-selling book didn't simply sit down and write it in one go. There were likely years of practice, countless drafts, and moments of doubt along the way. What we see as overnight success is usually the final result of years of work behind the scenes. Taking responsibility for your own success. We all have the power to shape our lives and achieve the things we want, but it requires taking responsibility for our own actions. Instead of waiting for luck or chance to bring success, we should actively work toward our goals with determination and consistency. Imagine a student aiming for academic excellence. If they believe that intelligence is simply a matter of luck or natural ability, they may not put in the necessary effort. On the other hand, if they understand that academic success comes from studying hard, asking questions, and consistently improving, they will be much more likely to achieve their goals. In the same way, someone wanting to improve their health shouldn't wait for a miracle cure or depend on external factors. Health improvements come from a balanced lifestyle, regular exercise, good nutrition, and mental well-being. These results come from small, consistent efforts made over time. The idea of luck or fortune diminishes the value of human effort and determination. It suggests that we are powerless in our own lives, when in fact we have much more control than we think. By focusing on our vision, putting in the necessary work, and persevering through obstacles, we can create the outcomes we desire. Luck is not a strategy. In conclusion, what many people label as luck or chance is often the result of consistent, focused effort and a strong belief in a personal vision. While it may seem like some people are just born lucky or fortunate, their success is usually built on years of dedication, perseverance, and personal growth. The next time you see someone succeed, take a moment to think about the journey that likely led them there. Instead of attributing their achievements to luck, recognize the hard work, sacrifices, and determination they've invested. Then reflect on your own life. What are the visions and ideals you hold dear? How can you build your life around them? Success is not an accident. It's something you can create through your thoughts, efforts, and beliefs. Chapter 7. Serenity. Calmness of mind is one of the most precious qualities a person can possess. It is like a rare jewel that reflects wisdom and inner peace. Achieving this state is not easy. It comes after much practice in self-control and discipline. When someone is calm, it shows they have gained deep experience in life and have a better understanding of how thoughts shape actions and behavior. The journey to serenity begins with understanding oneself as a being shaped by thoughts. Our thoughts determine how we react to situations, how we feel, and how we perceive the world around us. When a person starts to truly grasp this, they also begin to understand others better. Recognizing that everyone is the result of their thoughts leads to empathy and patience. When we comprehend the connection between cause and effect, we stop wasting time on unnecessary stress, anger, or frustration. Instead, we find ourselves able to remain calm and steady, regardless of external circumstances. A person who masters calmness becomes more in tune with themselves and their surroundings. They learn how to handle situations without getting overwhelmed by emotions. This calm individual is not easily shaken by challenges because they understand that everything happens for a reason and can approach problems logically and patiently. Their presence exudes peace, and others are naturally drawn to this sense of stability. Those around them feel safe, knowing they can rely on someone with such composure. In relationships, whether at work or in personal life, a calm person becomes a pillar of strength. Others respect their peaceful nature and often seek their guidance. They know that a serene person won't be quick to anger or panic, which makes them trustworthy and dependable. As people increasingly look to them for advice, the influence of a calm person grows. Their calmness becomes their source of power and success. Even in business, staying calm has its advantages. A person who remains composed under pressure will attract more opportunities. For example, a business owner or trader who is calm and collected will find that people prefer doing business with them. Customers are more likely to trust someone who handles situations smoothly, without rushing or showing signs of stress. Imagine going to a store where the owner is always frustrated or irritated versus a store where the owner is calm and friendly. Naturally, you would choose the second one, right? This is how calmness not only helps in personal growth, but also plays a significant role in professional success. Let's take a simple example from everyday life. Imagine you are stuck in traffic. Many people get frustrated, honking their horns and complaining about the delay. But a calm person would understand that getting upset won't change the situation. Instead of wasting energy on anger, they might listen to relaxing music, make good use of the time, or simply enjoy the quiet moment. In this way, their serenity keeps their mind clear, and they avoid unnecessary stress. Serenity isn't just about being calm on the outside. True serenity comes from a deep sense of inner peace. It's about accepting life as it is, knowing that some things are beyond our control. A calm person doesn't let external events dictate their happiness. Whether things are going well or poorly, they remain at peace because they have learned to control their reactions. They understand that everything is temporary and that worrying only drains energy. Consider someone in a leadership role. A calm leader sets an example for their team. When problems arise, instead of panicking, they think clearly and find a solution. Their team feels reassured and motivated because they know their leader is in control of the situation. The calmness of the leader creates a positive environment where everyone can focus on finding solutions rather than being overwhelmed by the issue at hand. This quality is what makes such a leader successful and respected by their team. Calmness also contributes to better decision-making. When we are in a state of anxiety or stress, our judgment can become clouded. We might make rash decisions or react too quickly without thinking through the consequences. However, when we are calm, we can see things more clearly. We can analyze the situation from different angles and make more thoughtful choices. This is why calmness is so important, not just for our personal well-being, but also for achieving success in life. Moreover, calmness and serenity have health benefits. Constant stress and worry can take a toll on the body, leading to issues like high blood pressure, headaches, and sleep problems. On the other hand, staying calm reduces the risk of these health problems. A calm mind leads to a healthier body, as the individual can relax and recharge, keeping their energy balanced. To further illustrate the power of serenity, think about historical figures like Mahatma Gandhi or Nelson Mandela. Despite facing immense challenges and opposition, they remained calm and composed. Their peaceful approach not only earned them respect, but also led to significant positive changes in the world. They are shining examples of how serenity can be a powerful force for good. In essence, calmness of mind is a valuable trait that comes from self-control, experience, and understanding. It leads to better relationships, professional success, improved health, and personal growth. The more tranquil we become, the more we can positively influence the people and situations around us. Developing serenity allows us to handle life's challenges with grace, maintain clarity in decision-making, and ultimately live a more fulfilling and peaceful life. A calm and strong person is always admired and loved by others. Such a person is like a tree that provides shade in a hot, dry land, or a rock that offers shelter during a storm. Who wouldn't appreciate a peaceful heart or a well-balanced, even-tempered life? No matter what challenges or changes life brings, whether it's sunshine or rain, people who have these qualities remain steady, calm, and pleasant. This level of inner peace and balance, known as serenity, is the final achievement of personal growth. It is a treasure of the soul, more valuable than wisdom and more desirable than gold, even the finest gold. When compared to a peaceful life, the constant pursuit of money feels small and unimportant. A serene life is like dwelling deep in the ocean of truth, far below the surface, safe from storms, and resting in eternal peace. Think about how many people you know who ruin their lives by having uncontrolled tempers. They destroy the sweetness and beauty around them with bursts of anger. Their outbursts make it difficult for them to maintain balance and peace within themselves, leading to negative emotions that can even affect their health. Unfortunately, most people fail to live a life of calmness and self-control, which only brings stress and misery. It's hard to come across individuals who are truly balanced and possess that deep inner strength, which we often see in those who have worked on perfecting their character. Serenity is more than just remaining calm in the face of external challenges. It is a reflection of inner peace and wisdom. When we think of a serene person, we imagine someone who is not easily shaken by life's ups and downs. They don't allow frustration, anger, or stress to control their emotions. Instead, they maintain their composure, and this sense of calm spreads to others around them. Just as a peaceful lake reflects the sky without disturbance, a person with serenity reflects the beauty of life without being troubled by its difficulties. For example, consider someone who has mastered the art of serenity, like a wise elder or a spiritual leader. No matter what problems arise, be it financial issues, family conflicts, or personal loss, they remain unshaken. Their strength comes from within, from a place of trust in life's bigger picture, and a deep understanding that everything has its time and place. When we observe these people, we can see that their calmness is not just an outward show, but comes from years of practice in cultivating patience, self-discipline, and a sense of purpose. This inner calm is not something that can be easily achieved overnight. It requires a conscious effort to grow and nurture it over time. Every time we face a challenging situation, we have a choice. Either react with anger and frustration, or remain calm and composed. Each time we choose calmness, we build our inner strength and reinforce our serenity. For instance, when someone cuts you off in traffic, instead of reacting with anger, pause and breathe. Recognize that your peace of mind is more valuable than a moment of irritation. Over time, this practice of self-control will lead to greater serenity. Another example of how serenity benefits our lives is seen in relationships. Many relationships are strained because one or both individuals lack self-control and allow their emotions to dominate. Whether it's a disagreement between friends, family members, or coworkers, things can quickly escalate if tempers flare. However, when one person remains calm, it helps to diffuse the situation. They can address the issue without getting swept away by emotions, leading to more effective communication and a peaceful resolution. In this way, serenity helps maintain harmony in personal and professional relationships. In contrast, those who lack this calm often find themselves in a constant state of emotional turbulence. When small things trigger big reactions, life becomes more chaotic and stressful. Imagine a person who constantly lets their temper take over. They might snap at their loved ones, make rash decisions, or feel overwhelmed by life's demands. This lack of emotional control not only damages their relationships, but also affects their physical health. High levels of stress can lead to problems like high blood pressure, heart disease, and anxiety. Serenity, on the other hand, has the opposite effect. It promotes well-being, improves health, and enhances overall life satisfaction. To cultivate serenity, it is important to practice mindfulness and reflection. Take time each day to center yourself through prayer, meditation, or simply sitting in quiet contemplation. Reflect on the bigger picture of life and remind yourself that most things that trouble us are temporary. By maintaining a sense of perspective, we can reduce the power that minor irritations and frustrations have over us. For example, when faced with a difficult situation at work, instead of getting stressed, try to step back and see it in the grand scheme of things. Ask yourself, will this matter in a year? Most of the time, the answer is no. Additionally, surrounding yourself with positive influences is key. Spend time with people who inspire calmness and avoid those who fuel negativity or conflict. Being around individuals who embody serenity can help you adopt similar traits. This does not mean avoiding people during times of conflict, but learning to approach situations with a mindset focused on peace and resolution. In essence, remember that serenity is not about avoiding problems, but learning how to navigate through them with grace. Life will always present challenges, but with a calm, strong, and balanced mind, we can face these challenges without losing our inner peace. Like the shade of a tree in a desert or a rock in a storm, serenity provides a safe haven for ourselves and those around us. In this way, we not only improve our own lives, but also become a source of peace and inspiration for others. Yes, humanity often experiences uncontrollable emotions like intense passion, overwhelming grief, anxiety, and doubt. Many people feel like they are constantly being tossed around by life's challenges, unable to find peace or control their inner turmoil. However, it is only the wise, those who learn to control and purify their thoughts, who can bring calm to the storms within their souls. The wise person knows how to direct their thoughts in a way that helps them stay steady, no matter what life throws their way. Just as a skilled sailor navigates rough seas by guiding the ship, a person who has control over their thoughts can navigate the storms of life with calmness and strength. To all those who feel lost or overwhelmed by the ups and downs of life, know this: in the ocean of life, there are places of peace and joy. No matter how difficult your circumstances may seem, there is always hope. The ideal life you dream of is possible, and it awaits you. Just like a beautiful, sunny shore waits on the horizon for the sailor who is willing to sail towards it. But to reach that shore, you must take control of your thoughts and actions. Think of your mind as the captain of a ship, and your soul as the ship itself. The captain's job is to steer the ship in the right direction, regardless of how rough the seas may get. If you let your mind wander or become overwhelmed by emotions, it's like letting the ship drift without direction, which can lead you into dangerous waters. But if you take control and steer your thoughts with intention, you can guide your soul safely through life's storms. In this analogy, the commanding master of the ship is the higher part of yourself, the wise, calm, and strong aspect of who you are. This master might seem quiet or distant at times, but he is always there, ready to take charge when needed. It's as if he's sleeping, but you have the power to wake him up. By calling on your inner wisdom and strength, you can regain control and guide yourself through even the most difficult times. Self-control is one of the most important strengths a person can have. It is the ability to manage your emotions, thoughts, and actions in a way that aligns with your highest values and goals. When you have self-control, you are not easily swayed by your emotions or by the opinions and actions of others. You stand firm in what you know is right, and this gives you a sense of power and confidence. Right thought is another key to mastery. When you focus on thinking positively, constructively, and wisely, you can shape your reality in a way that brings more peace and success into your life. The thoughts you allow into your mind are like seeds that grow into the actions you take and the life you live. If you plant negative thoughts, thoughts of doubt, fear, or anger, they will grow into feelings of anxiety, frustration, and dissatisfaction. But if you plant positive thoughts, thoughts of hope, love, and determination, they will grow into feelings of peace, happiness, and success. Calmness is power. In moments of chaos, the ability to remain calm gives you the strength to think clearly and make better decisions. Imagine being in a room full of people who are panicking during a crisis. The person who remains calm will be the one others turn to for guidance, because calmness allows for better judgment and problem solving. Similarly, when you remain calm in the face of life's challenges, you are better equipped to handle whatever comes your way. Take a moment to reflect on situations in your life where you felt overwhelmed by emotions. Perhaps you were faced with a difficult decision, a stressful situation at work, or a personal conflict. In those moments, how often did your emotions get the better of you? Did you find yourself reacting impulsively, or did you take a step back, breathe, and think things through before responding? The more you practice staying calm and centered in these moments, the stronger you become. For example, think of a time when you were faced with an unexpected problem. Maybe your car broke down on the way to an important meeting, or you received bad news that threw off your plans. In these situations, it's easy to let panic or frustration take over. But if you were able to stay calm and think clearly, you likely found a solution that helped you move forward. This is the power of calmness in action. To develop more self-control and calmness in your daily life, try incorporating mindfulness or meditation practices. These techniques help you become more aware of your thoughts and emotions, allowing you to respond rather than react to situations. When you meditate, you train your mind to stay focused and present, which can help you remain calm even in stressful situations. Over time, you'll find that you're less affected by external events and more in control of your own responses. Also, surround yourself with positive influences. The people you spend time with, the media you consume, and the environment you create all impact your thoughts and emotions. Make a conscious effort to surround yourself with uplifting and supportive individuals. Engage in activities that bring you joy and create a peaceful space in your home where you can relax and recharge. Remember, peace is not something that exists outside of you. It is something you create within yourself. No matter what external circumstances you face, you have the power to bring peace to your own heart and mind. This is why it is so important to say to yourself, "Peace, be still." When you quiet the storm inside, you can handle whatever storm may be happening outside. In summary, the challenges of life may seem overwhelming at times, but you have the power to control how you respond to them. By practicing self-control, thinking positively, and staying calm, you can navigate the storms of life with strength and grace. You are the captain of your soul, and with the right mindset, you can steer yourself toward a life of peace, joy, and fulfillment.